Still playing the last ever WSL derby at Goodison. Everton leading Liverpool by a goal to nil. They are deep in injury time there, and earlier Aston Villa beat Palace by 3-2. Back here at Wembley, the teams are on their way out of the tunnel. The England team peel away to the left to look at the George Cross flag, which is on the turf in front of them, walking around that and then behind the UEFA Nations League banner, and led of course by England's captain. It is Harry Kane. Ireland in their green tops peel away to the right behind the green, white and orange flag, and they take their places, those two teams, either side of the officials, and face the fans and face us in our commentary position for Talksport here at Wembley. Big crowd, there's a big noise, and there's a big promotion on offer for England if they win. They slip up, and Greece are expected to do the business against Finland, so we shall see what happens there. We'll keep you updated with the other games as they go along. Big presence from Ireland as well. I was on the tube as it went through Kilburn today on the Jubilee line. Plenty of Irish got on there, I can tell you. Let's observe the national anthems. First of all, Ireland's and the Soldiers' Song. To the right, loud and proud, green smoke billowing out of that corner, chucking it down with rain here at Wembley. Here's God Save the King. Mosaic of the George Cross away to our left, held up by the fans as the players and this crowd sang the national anthem. Win and England secure their first ever promotion. England-Ireland live on Talksport with former Ireland captain Andy Townsend, former England captain Stuart Pearce, and Talksport's England commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good afternoon to you as England stand at the beginning of the end of the 6-game interim tenure of Lee Carsley. The end of an international year that brought drama, heartbreak and plenty of change, and hopefully the end of this Nations League campaign. For Carsley, there's a neat symmetry, leaving as he started with a game against the country he played for, having overseen half a dozen internationals over a 10-week period that have brought a cocktail of anthems and acclaim, promise and blame, bruising defeat and brilliance. 2 performances against Greece, encapsulating the gulf between the highs and lows, and from the shadows of the Athenian ruins, the foundations have been built for a return to the top section of the Nations League. And 2024 has been tumultuous for Ireland too. Their 9 games have seen just 5 goals, wins hard to come by, the long search for a new coach finally completed. Amir Hallgrimsson's now bedded in, and it seems as though better days lie ahead. But for the boys in green, this is no Nations League swan song, with the relegation playoff in March already inked into the itinerary. And getting that one right will be critical. Tonight, Pickford's in goal for England, Livramento, Walker, Gahey and Hall, Gallagher and Jones, Madueke, Bellingham and Gordon and Harry Kane. Ireland have Kelleher in goal, the back four of O'Shea, McGuinness, Scales and O'Dowda. Collins holding in midfield but dropping back in to sweep. Everselli, Cullen, Malumbi and Schmodix and Ferguson. Referee tonight is the Belgian Eric Lambrechts, who takes charge of his second game here at Wembley. It'll be wetter tonight than his first one was, whenever that was, because it is pretty biblical out there. Torrential rain coming down. And a nice touch from the Irish players who removed their training tops after their anthem and put them around the young mascots that they had to try and shelter them as best as they could from the inclement conditions. Those Irish players just in a huddle away to our right-hand side now in their green shirts and white shorts. England in their white and dark blue again. So this, England's farewell to 2024, the year that brought another final, another near miss, another manager with yet another on the way. A year where finding the right formula often proved difficult, where frustration and elation walked hand in hand. But it's a year that can end with promotion. Beat Ireland, and England are back in League A. Lee Carsley's mission accomplished. Delighted to say, two former international captains alongside me. As the afternoon goes on, we'll be hearing from Andy Townsend and Stuart Pearce. It's a very good afternoon to you with England in early possession.
Yeah, really looking forward to this game. I think it's a brilliant game in the football calendar, personally. You know, certainly myself and Andy have had some good tussles within this game, and these boys out there today have got the opportunity to sample that. A little bit disappointed early on with the England fans booing the Irish anthem. I think it shows a bit of a lack of class, but let's move on.
Well, you're listening to coverage of England against the Republic of Ireland in the UEFA Nations League with Carling, 18 plus. Always drink responsibly. Madueke just caught by O'Dowda. The play's allowed to go on with Carl Walker, who's playing at centre-half again today, starting at centre-half, having moved there at half-time in Athens, just rolling the ball forward for Conor Gallagher. Gordon drops into a little deeper role on the left-hand side. Lewis Hall is there as well. And England just moving the ball from left to right, and then Walker goes long for Madueke, but he's overhit it. And he drifts out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, I don't mind that early on, turning the opposition's defence round, putting it in behind. I think it'd be interesting, the dynamics here, and I asked Andy about this as well. Livramento loves to gallop forward. He's got to make sure he doesn't get in Madueke's way, though, when he does so.
Good point. Yeah, Madueke looked really hot the other night, didn't he? And so when you've got a winger like that in front of you that's confident and full of himself rolling the ball, give him it and let him get on with it.
Clearance from Quaveen Kelleher over halfway, forward towards Collins, who isn't just playing as a holding midfielder in these early stages. He's been the aerial target of a couple of long balls forward and finding himself isolated out on the left-hand touchline to try and win the first ball.
Yeah, essentially Ireland are operating with a back four. Nathan Collins, as a central defender, as we all know him, has stepped into assist in the middle of the park and maybe pick up an England shirt that might be in a dangerous position. But also when they get those goal kicks, he uses his height by pushing forward, try and flick a few things on to turn England round.
Here's Lewis Hall, making his home debut for his country at the age of 20. The younger of the two Newcastle United players who are having the biggest night of their career today. Tino Livramento the other, and he has made his way forward. He's pretty much between Kane and Madueke laterally as England work it down to the right-hand side again for the winger. It's his first start at Wembley today, Noni Madueke. Back from him to Walker. The gay here now to the far touchline, the England left. They're kicking from left to right in this first half in the driving North London rain. All the way back through the midfield again. Bellingham to Kyle Walker here. England with the majority of the early possession as was largely anticipated. Ireland coming into this on improved form, having won 2 of the last 3 games, a couple of victories home and away against Finland, which means that they will finish 3rd in League B for a 4th successive Nations League campaign. A model of consistency. The only problem now is that 3rd in League B is a relegation playoff, where it never has been before. England still with possession, still keeping the ball very easily in Irish territory, but not making any headway with it. Mark Gahey will make his way forward. Conor Gallagher shows for him. England's number 4 chips it down to the right, where it's brought down beautifully by Livramento. 4 from him to Madueke. Madueke couldn't find a way through past O'Dowda on this near touchline, and Ireland work it hurriedly back inside their own half of the penalty area for Scales. Given away though, Madueke, right hand side of the penalty area, twisting and turning, getting to the byline, pulling it back across the edge of the 6-yard box and cleared. And then Curtis Jones rifling one in from distance, which hits an Irishman on the edge of the 6-yard box and goes out of play for a corner.
Well, Andy touched on it earlier. It will play into England's hands a little bit and not hurt England at all if Ireland try to play out in bad areas. And that's exactly what happened then. I think it was Josh Cullen who got caught out. And Madueke showed exactly what terrorised Greece in the week.
So England with the first quarter, and Madueke has come across the tackle. He raises both arms above his head. Now he takes 3 steps back. Runs up towards the ball, hits it left-footed towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and a flying header goes just over the bar. It's a close run thing. Really good delivery in towards the near post. Kyle Walker that came to meet it.
He did. It's a good run. It's a lovely clipped-in, flat sort of delivery towards the near post. Can be awkward sometimes to defend those. Kyle Walker makes a great run, gets there first, and having made first contact, would really have felt he should at least hit the target there. That was a half a chance.
He's got the 1 goal for England so far. Kyle Walker in 92 internationals, and that came on Polish soil in a fixture that was nominally an away game against Ukraine. That would have been a very special moment for Walker had he managed to find the net there. A little flick header that went narrowly over the bastion.
Yeah, I think the dynamic movement which he moved from the edge of the box into that near post area probably suggests they've had a good look at that on the training ground and seen a deficiency in that near post area.
Remember, the mathematics are very simple. England win the group and get promoted if they win this game. If they don't win this game, they just need to match Greece's result in Finland. So if both games are drawn, that'll do. Both games end up being lost. That will still be enough for England. Goal difference is an irrelevance because England guaranteed to have the advantage on the head-to-head record, and Ireland definitely finishing third in this group out of 4. 0-0 the score. Walker chipping one forward here for the run from Kane down the left-hand side of the box. There's Mark McGuinness, who tracked him back every step of the way, the £10 million Luton signing. Got it away out towards Gordon over on the far touchline. O'Shea's trying to get it away. And now Festi Ebesele, the Watford loanee, will do well and will take them on halfway. And still he goes. 3 England players converging on it. And between them they were able to win it back. Mark Gahey did well. Good exhibition of pace from him just to nip in and flick it back to his goalkeeper.
Good run though, Festi Ebesele, picking out deep, almost level with his own 18-yard box, and runs 60-70 yards. No real help alongside him. Eventually England get the ball back, but at the moment the way the game is set up, it's that back 4 with Collins dropping in, everyone bank of 5 in front of them, just trying to contain England.
Manning will bring him forward again for the run from Gordon inside the penalty area, and his ball in deflects away, and England have another corner.
Yeah, good dynamic movement by them. We just saw the importance of Gahey in the heart of the defence, just dealt with any danger, made it look rather easy, and then England on the turnover. Good combination between Gordon and Bellingham.
So a corner which will be taken over on the England left. Gallagher waits on the edge of the 6-yard box. Most advanced of the England players. Everybody else is back on the edge of the penalty area, those that are going to come in to attack this. Kane, Bellingham, Walker and Gahey all there. Now the referee is going across to the corner quadrant, and is he just asking for the ball to be moved back a fraction. Gordon has moved it back literally a fraction. The referee says no, a fraction more. And so Gordon obliges. And the Irish fans had the perfect view of that in that corner of the ground. And just loving that. Gordon in towards the near post. Poor delivery is easily headed away by Cullen. Comes back out of the left-hand side of the box again. Another chance for Gordon to deliver. That a deeper one. It's well played by Kelleher because he had plenty of movement in front of him, kept his eyes on the ball. Very good, quick hands. Caught it cleanly. Now we'll just be able to calm things down for Ireland here. We're 8.5 minutes in on Talksport and it's 0-0.
Yeah, really good take there by Kelleher. Just took the danger off. So probably the cross slightly too close to him, but he dealt with it. Just took the sting out of the game.
Getting the ball away. Down to this near touchline for O'Dowda. It's just sailed over his head. Goes out of play for a throw that will be taken by Kyle Walker. England with 4 wins in their last 5 games. They have lost 4 games in 2024. They've only ever lost 5 in a calendar year once. That was back in 1981. To make sure that they don't emulate that Rock Greenwood team tonight. Ball is out for a throw that will be taken on the Irish left, down by their own corner flag though in the left back position. It's a throw that Callum O'Dowda will take still 4 or 5 yards and shuffle forward. Now launch it from the left hand side over Kyle Walker's head. And then it comes off Jones and goes out for another throw which will be taken by the Irish much further upfield. 10 minutes gone. And still Andy Townsend, nothing to choose between the two sides in terms of goals, but it's been all England.
Yeah, Ireland really haven't had any sort of spell of possession as of yet. I'm not expecting them to dominate numbers in any way, shape or form in that respect. What they can do is pick their moments, as I mentioned pre-game. And they're more than capable with the running of Sammy Schmodic. He's starting on the left-hand side, but if they can free him up a little bit, he's really good when he wants to get one-on-one.
Now Madueke has turned over the ball and he released Bellingham. Bellingham just waits, tries to draw an Irish player into the challenge, got it away from Scales to find Madueke again, played across the edge of the area, teed up by Gallagher. Bellingham drops his shoulder, hits a right-footed shot, comes back to him, looping header forward from him. That's cleared as well. Sliding challenge attempt from Bellingham to win the ball back in the Irish penalty area, comes to nothing. The boys in green will clear, but only out as far as Tino Livramento. Now to Margahey, to his left-hand side, Lewis Hall. Back forward from him to Jones. 8 players today in this England side, just to make you feel old, who were born in the 21st century. Which I think is the first time that's ever happened. Here's Kyle Walker.
I think he's talking to you, Andy, about that old statement.
Well, it's making me feel old, and I'm way younger than the pair of you. The ball will be brought forward by the Irish down the left-hand side. Ferguson with a little layoff, looking for O'Dowda, and then one back by Gallagher. And he's done well to beat Schmodics. Pulls it back from the edge of the penalty area. Madueke trying to take it on. Cullen did just enough. Managed to adjust his feet quickly enough to get it away. Bellingham wins it back. Scales has got to make sure that he doesn't dive in. He did well to stay on his feet. Blocks the cross, and it's another corner.
Yeah, good pressure that from England. But again, Evan Ferguson, for the first time, made a good run in midway in his own half towards the halfway line, rolled it to Callum O'Dowda, who wanted to go 20 yards back. Ends up getting the ball pinched. England now have a corner off the right side.
Well, the first corner that they had from this side saw the Kyle Walker header go just over the bar. It's the best opportunity that either have created so far. Walker's taken up station on the edge of the penalty area again. Peels away towards the far post this time, and again he's the target, and he's headed it actually off target, back down towards Madueke. And he goes past him and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Eberselli's supposed to be marking him. He's all over the place. I think he was trying to prejudge him going into the near post again and just moved his run round the back on this occasion.
Goalless in this one, goalless as well. Finland against Greece, which has ramifications for England if they don't win here. The other group that's currently live, Austria, Slovenia, Norway and Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan already relegated. Austria, Norway can both be promoted. Slovenia can reach the promotion playoffs, but the games between those all 0-0 at the moment. As Jordan Pickford gets a rare touch, might even be his first of the afternoon as he clears, just sweeps up from the edge of his 6-yard box. Played forward by England. Kane trying to hold it up. Collins won it back. And we'll divert it back to Mark McGuinness. He finds Liam Scales. Celtic man down to the left for Callum O'Dowda. Ball in Oxford, but playing against the country of his birth today. For 3 English-born players who are in the Irish starting lineup today. Dowder, Cullen and Schmolix, who's in possession now. Run towards the edge of the penalty area and check. Work the ball back inside. Jason Malumbi can take over. Cullen in support for him, but Gallagher forces him to go deeper to Scales. Scales to Collins. Back down to the Irish left once more. Right in front of us. We're situated about 20 yards inside the half that England are defending in this first half. Ireland being able to string the passes together with a greater ease than at any previous stage of the game, but sensing that, Jones races forward, puts pressure on McGuinness, forces him to lay it back for Kelleher. Kelleher's winning his 20th international cap tonight. Made a crucial penalty save to deny Poyampalo an equaliser for Finland really late on in the game at the Aviva the other night. Here's Scales getting it forward here for Evan Ferguson, whose dad actually was a teammate of Lee Carsley's at one stage in their playing careers at Coventry. Ball played forward up the Irish right. O'Shea high up and under, and then Curtis Jones is crowded out of it by Collins, who the referee will just call over and have a quick word. Collins protesting his innocence. It will be a free kick that will be taken by England about 20 yards inside their own half. With 15 minutes in here on Talksport, still 0-0.
Yeah, probably from England's point of view, the best opportunities they've had is when they've pressed really well and Ireland have overplayed a little bit at the back. They've turned it over, or keep supplying the ball to Madueke on this side. He's certainly playing with an element of confidence.
Youthful exuberance and swagger about Noni Madueke whenever the ball is played to him. He's got a fantastic record under Carsley for the 21s, 7 goals in 19 games, including 6 in 6 last season. He's making his way forward here now. Livramento trying to turn the ball past Scales to find him. Schmolix then caught well in possession by Gallagher. And Schmolix did well to force the ball half clear, and then it's flicked by the retreating Ipswich man straight into Livramento and out of play for a goal kick. But so much of England's attacking play gravitating down their right to try and get at O'Dowda.
And I think, again, looking ahead for Thomas Tuchel, he's got to try and find, again, the right combinations. We're talking about balance, and combinations is a word, I think, part of that. The right combinations when you've got a team, as Ireland are doing today, with a really heavy block against them, confronting them, finding those right combinations that work well, that can seemingly find a way beyond that. I think some games that I watched when it really mattered, some of Gareth's games, England struggled a little bit in that respect against top teams when they had to try and find a way to break them down. Always capable of that dramatic Bellingham-type moment, but can they unpick a lock when it's a real heavy block right in front of them? And that's what they're confronted with this evening.
Livramento works the ball back towards Walker. It's no surprise that Ireland are playing with effectively 3 centre-halves, and we've touched on Collins' positioning, but the only other time that they played with 3 centre-halves in this qualification campaign so far, in the Nations League campaign, I beg your pardon, was actually at home to England, Hal Grimson's first game. They've reverted to a 4 for the 2 matches against both Greece and a pair of games against Finland after that. Jones is 10 yards inside Irish territory as he plays it out to the England left-hand side. Bellingham's gravitated out there. Eberselli holding him up. And the ball goes back for Gahey. Into the feet of Gallagher and back for Mark Gahey again. And now Lewis Hall is showing for it, and it's played past Gordon now towards that far touchline for Bellingham, and right in front of the Irish contingent over on the far touchline. England conceded a throw.
I'm just looking at England's build-up here. When England have got the ball on the left-hand side, probing there, I'm looking to see the interaction between Madueke and Livramento. Madueke's coming off his perch, coming inside to an inside right position. I would rather Livramento go and do that and leave Madueke as wide as possible. Because like now, Livramento's got the ball out wide. I would rather that be Madueke because he'll have more time and he's a more effective wide player.
Livramento to Madueke to Gallagher. 3 working very effectively together. Livramento, the man holding his width, as Stuart was explaining, and Madueke sort of darting into pockets almost at inside right. Jones makes a dynamic run forward towards the edge of the penalty area on the other side of the attack, and the ball is cleared. Walker now will bring the ball forward. Livramento down towards Noni Madueke again. Just rolled down the line past O'Dowda, and a good covering from Schmolix in behind to put the ball out of play for an England throw.
The way Ireland is setting up, you've got to communicate. You've all got to be aware of exactly what's required, because they're, as I mentioned, they're sitting quite deep, and if you pass a player on, it can be fatal for you. It really can. You've got to make sure everyone's got to be aware of exactly where you are. And with Nathan Collins, who's in the back four 1 minute, then he's stepping into the middle of the park. There's little gaps that can appear, and those other centre halves have got to be aware when he steps in. It's quite intricate. You've got to get it right.
We certainly have, and so far they have. Also as well, the two wide players within this Irish lineup, the importance of them going back and doubling up, Andy.
Yeah, definitely. Schmolix is good at that. You know, again, I mentioned about he's a busy player. Ebosele more natural for him on the right side. But so far Ireland have kept England at bay, but can change in a flash.
Bellingham trying to do exactly that now. Works the ball back out of the penalty area towards Anthony Gordon. Ebosele comes across. He's followed him every step of the way. He's had one little nibble at him to try and get the ball away. Then a second. Kyle Walker down towards Livramento. Livramento, the corner of the penalty area for Noni Madueke. Madueke again. Slows the ball down to a walking pace, and then very quickly switches it to his left-hand side, and Hall plays it in. And Kane couldn't quite get it into his stride. It was an excellent ball from Lewis Hall to break the lines. Now England have got to get back in defensive position very quickly, because Ebosele, who's got pace to burn, leads the counter-attack. England have forced him into a wide position, but he'll come back into the centre. Shot from Livramento on him. I thought that was going to be a free kick. Ebosele is waved back to his feet. England break forward quickly and look for Kane. And Collins mops up and goes back to his goalkeeper. It was a great run from Ebosele. Just trying to expose England's frailty on the counter-attack.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity and a really good break by Ireland there. But what they didn't do, they went with the player on the ball and maybe one or two others. They've got to get the support very quickly up to him, so potentially to try and outnumber England.
A really positive run though from Ebosele there. I thought actually he should have got a free kick, which would have been shooting distance, and the first time that England would have had something seriously to consider. But lovely run from him.
Well, Ferguson has given something to chase, and Mark Gahey had ultimately a successful job of dealing with it. Flag is up over on the far touchline. He's just given a little shove. Ferguson putting the pressure on, but Gahey knows that he's in a battle against the rambunctious Brighton striker, making his way forward, and play will restart with an England free kick.
He's got to do that, Evan Ferguson. Really has to be prepared to run hard into those gullies and pressurise, just like he did there. I thought actually he fouled Mark Gahey when it come to it. Free kick wasn't given, but nonetheless, that's what he's got to do. He's got to work very hard. When Ireland are going to have to defend in numbers, when they get the chance to release the ball, he's got to be making a big nuisance of himself there.
Certainly a bit of shirt pulling going on from Gahey on Ferguson. A little bit going the other way as well. 0-0 the score. We're coming up to the midway stage of the first half. 0-0 enough as things stand at the moment for England, because Greece is still being held in Finland.
Also, Jim, midway through the first half, I think either goalkeeper really has had anything much to consider yet.
Change now. We one long ball over the top from Jones. Madueke will take it on from Gallagher, and then his first touch just a little bit heavy, and it stopped him getting to the byline to get across it. The ball beat him there, and he goes out of play for a goal kick. We've seen the flick header from Walker. We've seen one very nice take from Kelleher, who fielded a cross that came in under pressure. Pickford's had nothing to do, but very little in way of constructive goal scoring opportunity so far. All four attempts that there have been have come from England, but none of them have been on target. First goal in the Nations League 5 o'clock kickoff, scored by Erling Haaland. And Norway lead Kazakhstan by a goal to nil. That's his 5th goal in this campaign. His 36th international goal in 39 games for his country. Erling Haaland, Norway promoted if they win Austria don't beat Slovenia. And that's the way things are at the moment. So Norway currently top of that group, and they would go up into League A if there's no further goals in that group. But it says there's a long way to go. 0-0 in this one, 0-0 in the Finland-Greece game as well. There's a blatant shove by Anthony Gordon over on the far touchline. Gives a free kick Ireland's way, which Kevin Kelleher will come across the tap. We'll do today's international trivia question for you in about 5 minutes. An interesting one today, I think. There's 7 potential answers, and we'll run through the question. I'll give it to you in about 5-6 minutes time, something like that. A little bit of time to mull over it. We'll get the guys' thoughts at half-time, give you the answer about 15 minutes into the second half. The ball over on the far touchline with Kevin Kelleher taking this free kick, punted forward over halfway. It's headed down by Collins, flicked on by Ferguson, but he can't find Eberseli, and the ball will roll through for Kyle Walker, who's going to be able to take it on a couple of paces and find Curtis Jones.
Well, I can assure you, I'll offer you 7 answers, but none of them will be right. But
I can assure you that, I was going to say even you, I don't mean it like that. I can assure you that after your tipping point success, which was greeted with adulation in the Bradford household, I think that you'll do all right. I think you'll get at least one of the 7. I'm going to stick your neck on the line. And I've got a feeling Andy's going to get at least one of the 7 as well, and you understand the relevance of that comment when you hear the question. The ball is with Kelleher, who will get it right-footed over halfway. It's one back by Gahey, played back down through the midfield for Cullen. Coming down towards the far touchline, and O'Shea will lay the ball back. Plenty of experience in terms of the defensive line for Ireland. Mark Guinness winning his first cap for his country today. It's the ball played down by O'Dowd. Schmodix, Gallagher winning it back. Jones getting away from Ferguson's challenge and protecting the ball beautifully, and then a drop of the shoulder is past Eberseli. Now he's got options to his left-hand side. Gordon cutting inside with Hall making a run on the overlap past him. Gordon then checks, goes back for Curtis Jones to have another go, nudges it past Eberseli again. Bellingham out of the far touchline. Bellingham just lending the ball back to the edge of the penalty area for Curtis Jones. To Gahey, to Gallagher, Walker. England injecting a little bit of tempo around the edge of the penalty area here, but still looking for their first attempt on target of the afternoon. Gallagher back to Walker. Conor Gallagher trying to drive across him. It's hit Schmodix, and he goes out of play for a throw that will be taken about 20-25 yards from the corner flag on the England right.
Yeah, I think what England have got to do, certainly with this strong formation of Ireland's dropping back in there, every now and then they've just got to put a diagonal ball into the box and just try and create chaos and look to pick up the seconds just to mix the game up slightly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Most of the work that England have done so far is all in front of pretty much 10 Irish players back behind the ball, and it's not easy that way. It can become very difficult, so I do think England could just do is speeding it up a little bit and are leaving Gordon and Madueke to go and do their stuff 1v1.
Now Gordon with a chance to fizz a low ball in towards the near post, which got past McGuinness but not past Collins, who dropped him behind him, and he swept up and punted it clear. Now for a throw, taken quickly. Ball in is too hot for Harry Kane, headed away by Liam Scales. Madueke peels out towards the right-hand touchline, shows for the ball into feet from Walker, then made a gesture to spin in behind. Walker's worked it the other way towards Gahey. Now it's to the left-hand side for Lewis Hall. Ball finding Gordon again. 2 Newcastle men combining. 2 of the 3 Newcastle players in the starting lineup. The first time England have picked an 11 with 3 Newcastle players in it since 1997. Kyle Walker. To Tino Livramento, the 3rd man in that Geordie trio. He's won a throw which will be taken midway inside the half. Austria leading Slovenia by a goal to nil. That other game in Nations League B, and that means that it will be Austria, as things stand, who, instead of Norway, will win that group and will win automatic promotion.
Shearer, Ferdinand, Robley. All right, Jim?
You've got 2 out of 3, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. David Batty was the other. As instead of Les, the ball on the left-hand side of the penalty area is pulled back, but it's knocked away. I only know that, Andy, because it's written down in front of me. The ball is with Kyle Walker. Walker's 25-30 yards outside the Irish box. It's 0-0 with 28 gone here on Talksport. Ball played towards Tino Livramento. Livramento to Noni Madueke. Coming in off the right-hand touchline. Can't find a way past O'Dowda. It's chipped over O'Dowda. Then Madueke can hook and looping ball in. He's heading back to it. It's inside the penalty area, inside the 6. And he pokes it towards goal. Big shout for a penalty and a handball. Mostly from Madueke himself. He didn't have too many others going up with him. There's a little poke towards goal. I don't know whether it was Scales that it hit, but it was cleared. And no suggestion that the referee is going to be told to stop play by the VAR to have an extended look at that. Play has continued. Too many of the fans behind the goal went up for it. It's Jude Bellingham who's got it. Bellingham laying it back for Gavey. Play forward again by Bellingham out to the left-hand side. Hall will try and get to the byline. Sliding challenge comes in from Eberselli. Now puts it out for a corner which will be taken on the England left-hand side. They're fourth of the game with 29 minutes in, but it's still 0-0.
Got to say, Eberselli and Smodics are working really, really hard.
Corner is taken short. Work towards Bellingham. Bellingham back towards Madueke. Clipped in left-footed. Bellingham trying to hook his right foot around it, but ended up just getting caught in the advert behind the dead ball line as opposed to being able to deliver a potent cross inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I'm just saying the work rate of Eberselli and Smodics either side has been brilliant. What England, I think, have got to do, they've got to occupy other players. So O'Dowda can't get out and get as close to Madueke as he would like as play's building up. That enables Madueke to receive the feet, get turned, face up and get ahead of steam up.
So I think again England at the moment, I think when they've had good possession, they're not really drawing Ireland out of their little pockets and their little slots. They haven't played particularly, I don't think, enough football with the likes of Conor Gallagher and Curtis Jones in there at the moment. And I think Ireland are pretty comfortable in defending what they've got so far.
When you look at Conor Gallagher, for instance, it's only his 9th start for his country, only Jones' 2nd, it's the first for Livramento, it's the first for Hall. Noni Madueke only making his 2nd. So in terms of the number of starts in this England team, it's relatively few when you compare it to nearly every England side of the last 10-15 years that's gone before it. You do have the likes of Pickford and Kane to balance that out. Jude Bellingham's up in the 40s in terms of international caps as well now, but a fair few rookies. Bellingham chipping the ball down the left-hand side of the box, and that one's put out of play. And it's going to be an Irish throw. Okay, let's have a look at this trivia question for today. I mentioned 3 players in the Irish side who were born in England. But who are the 7 most capped internationals who've played for Ireland but were born in England? So I'll give you a little bit of time to think about it. There's a wry smile on Andy's face, and I think you might know one of them. I'm just guessing. But who are the 7 most capped internationals who've played for Ireland but were born in England? It's been a clash of heads in the midfield here. The ball's just looped up by Bellingham. Gallagher coming to meet it, and one of the Irish players then ducked in. Is it Schmodics? I think he inadvertently made contact with his head on the knee of Gallagher. Is it knee to knee, do you think?
I think it's a knee he's got a problem with. He's lost his footing, and I think he's twisted his knee, and there was probably hardly any clash at all. I think he twisted his knee prior to this coming together with Gallagher.
And when it happens, when there's no contact made between players, those are often the worst ones. And immediately the Irish players around him signalled over. This will be a bit of blow for Ireland today. It will be a huge blow for Ipswich as well if he's done himself some serious damage here, Sammy Schmodics. Don't forget the Premier League returns on Talksport on Saturday. 12:30 kick-off, Leicester against Chelsea. Reshman and the team at the King Power. And let me also point you in the right direction For Talksport's YouTube channel, all the latest England content's on there, including interviews with the likes of Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones. If you haven't caught, that's really interesting. He was talking about Arne Slot and the way things have been going in this camp. After this game, also on the Talksport YouTube channel, you can hear the England debrief with myself and Stuart Pearce and Adrian Durham as we review the events tonight. It's the Talksport YouTube channel. Your review of the events tonight comes with Majestic and Alan Pardew on the sports bar from early time 7:30 tonight, reacting to everything that you've heard here. Schmollick still down, receiving a little bit of treatment inside his own half. Good to see he's now just getting back to his feet.
You see Ryan Manning below us. Jim, looks like he's sort of stripped and ready to go. Whether that is going to suggest that, no, looks like he's putting the top back on, maybe because Sammy Schmollick is back up on his feet, which is good and which is important. Hopefully he's okay to continue at full pace.
And he's being led off the field towards the far touchline rather than to this near touchline where the benches are, which is always a good sign as well. He's going to attempt to come back on and give it another go.
The reaction of his teammates was the worrying thing, and normally it's the people around you, your teammates, that identify a semi-bad injury, but fortunately he's up on his feet, which is good news.
So he continues to receive treatment off the field over on the far touchline. Ireland temporarily down to 10 and plays back underway. England have got the ball 20 yards inside Irish territory, still 0-0 here at Wembley on Talksport. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Tino Livramento to Walker. Schmollick's asking for permission to come back on. That's been granted, so they're back up to the full complement now. Ball hooked in by Madueke. Bellingham going up for it. Couldn't tease the ball back down towards Kane. Scales saw to that and got it away. Back out for Noni Madueke again. He's put under pressure by Cullen, but he can find Gahey. Gahey chips it over the top. Gallagher just given a little shove under the flight of the ball. Loose ball then broke Bellingham's way, but he's cut the cross, a left-footed half volley, and sent it spinning high and wide.
Yeah, I would say at this stage there's been a couple of flirtations to get in behind, but in the main I think the Irish will be very happy with the way the game's gone, Andy.
No, they will. I think they'll be delighted with the way it's gone after 35 minutes. And I just think England have got to be perhaps a little more cute with the way that they try and break this wall of green shirts down. You have to try and, sometimes if you keep pressing and pushing and you don't allow...
The ball is played over the top here of Gahey, and it ends up in the hands of Pickford. Schmollick's claiming that he was given a shove as he attacked that. England then get it forward quickly at the other end, and Madueke from on his goal side of O'Dowda, who's there to face him up again, shows him inside. Cullen is back, and he's going to be able to do the rest and help get it clear along with Malumbi. Cullen poking it away from Kane, back on his feet, does well. Back to the left-hand side. Schmollick's chasing after it. He's going to be able to take a touch and bring it inside away from Walker. Then pirouettes on the ball to take Livramento out of it. Now he's going to try and run Livramento down the touchline. Livramento just given a pull of the shirt, which put him on the deck. And before Ferguson could get there, a free kick's been given England's way.
Yeah, on that semi-counter attack there, if you stop the game when it broke down and drew a line across the pitch, there was 7 England players and 2 Irish players. They've got to get more numbers up quicker to support the man on the ball.
Yeah. What we saw, that the reason why I just went a bit quiet a few moments ago was we saw a 40-50 yard ball transferred to Sammy Schmollick, making a run right down the middle, very nearly got on the end of it.
There's a little diving header from Walker. Enough purchase to get back to his keeper at the other end. The ball played in. Bounces Madueke's ways on the stretch as he pokes one towards goal, and it's cleared out as far as Livramento. And then Gahey back out to Lewis Hall. Gordon making a run ahead of him. Played in towards Jones instead. Jones to Bellingham. Bellingham back out of the England left once more for Anthony Gordon. Gordon just laying his leg over the top of the ball. Ebicelli do well, just stood his ground, makes the challenge, and he's going to be okay. Schmollick has been back off the field receiving more treatment, and he's just asking for permission to come back on. They're just giving him more treatment again, but that permission is granted. He's back on. Ireland again back up to 11, and it remains 0-0 with 7 to go to half time.
I tell you, Ebicelli's been working tremendously hard for his team, really good. And Schmollick's will be just a case of getting him to half time, see how he is, and then they can assess it from there. But I think Lewis Hall's done well, Piercy, first half for England.
Yeah, not bad at all, but
been tidy.
As I say, the outstanding player of the game at this moment in time will be Eberselli, to be honest with you, in and out of possession.
Christy Eberselli only made his international debut, his full international debut on Thursday in the home win. He's done really well in this loan spell that he's having at Watford from their sister club Udinese at the moment. That's a great challenge from Scales on Kane to get the ball away. Kane ended up on the deck, but it was perfectly timed. The ball has gone out for a throw that will be taken on the England right by Livramento. Let me remind you what's going on in the other important game in this group. Still 0-0 between Finland and Greece. 70-30 the possession in Greece's favour. 7 shots to 1, but only the one on target. That's 0-0. But there'll be a few jangling nerves. If they were to take the lead in that game, they would temporarily be top of the group ahead of England. Well, England know that if they win this game against the Republic of Ireland today, they're definitely promoted back into League A of the Nations League. Margay's got the ball at his feet. It's played towards Kyle Walker. Walker rolling it in towards Bellingham, who just tried to take it on the half turn and stab it off, hoping that Jones was there, but he just passed it to Cullen instead. And Ireland can mop up and go back for Kelleher. Still hasn't had an outstanding save to make so far tonight. Ireland work it down the line looking for Eberselli, but they passed it past him and straight to Lewis Hall. Ball through the midfield. Kane's got it now. Kane back for Curtis Jones.
Just looking where Livramento can help Madueke a little bit. When Madueke's hugging the touchline, Livramento in the build-up needs to go and near enough go straight in and stand next to O'Dowda and occupy him, which will free up a little bit of space. That will mean O'Dowda can't start edging wide and get into Madueke as quickly as he would like.
Walker for Gahey. Bellingham making a really good run forward down the inside left channel. McGuinness heads the ball away. And it's played by O'Shea into Gordon. And he ricochets behind O'Shea. And his next touch was a sliding chance to put it out of play for an England throw. In front of the 5,000 travelling Irish supporters over on the far touchline. A sea of green, that pocket of Wembley over on the far touchline. They're bobbing up and down, enjoying what they're seeing so far, frustrating England, and now with an opportunity on the counter-attack, they can bring it forward with O'Dowda. He's got Ferguson goal side of him, he's got Cullen in there as well. Madueke comes back, and the check from O'Dowda to try and get it onto his right foot to deliver across. Too good for Madueke, who's cleaned him out. I don't think that was his intention at all. Then Bellingham gets a yellow card. He comes back, gets a yellow card for dissent, and Madueke gets a yellow card for his foul. Yeah,
it's the first time in the game where Ireland turned the ball over on the halfway line and then really commit green shirts forward. Did it really well. There was 2 or 3 in the box. Callum O'Dowda running down the left side into a good position to cross. Ronnie Madueke gets back and fouls O'Dowda, gets himself a yellow card. But again, that's better from Ireland when they turn the ball over, must commit people forward.
And that means that if England don't finish top of this group and go into a promotion playoff instead, Jude Bellingham will be suspended for the first leg. The first leg would be here at Wembley. It would be in March. The second leg would be away, because England will be playing as an unseeded team in that particular fixture, if that's what comes to pass. Now, set-piece opportunity for Ireland. And a chance for Cullen to deliver. An opportunity for Ireland to take a famous lead. Collins is 4. He may well end up being the target here. How many in green are there inside the penalty area? 6. Cullen stands hands on hips. Now comes up, delivers, right-footed, really deep. Headed back by Scales, then back in awkwardly from Schmodix on the edge of the penalty area. 2 England headers get it outside the box for the time being. Then another one from Walker, stabbed back in, but the referee spotted a push from Collins. And it's going to be a free kick to England inside their own penalty area. And just for a moment, as the ball was played forward towards Conor Gallagher, there was a little bit of silliness going on off the ball, and the referee, as a result of that, has booked Scales. It's going to be a free kick to England.
Yeah, Scales just refusing to give the ball back to Gallagher, who wanted to get on with the game. And just probably, Cullen just overhit that, didn't he? He wanted it, so his players are running onto it. They've done well to keep it alive, but...
again, always the importance of set piece and producing a bit of quality from them. Josh Cullen there overhit that one again. Ireland turning the ball over in the middle of the park, better from them.
Now Evan Ferguson is in there, a sliding challenge. He was fouled, no advantage as Cullen lost it, so play pulled back for another free kick to Ireland. And we've got 90 seconds to go to the break. A little bit of time to be added on because of the injury problem that Schmodics has, although it's good to see that seemingly he's fit now and he's going to be able to continue. He's on for a quick free kick, work down the side of the England contingent here, but I think it's going to be pumped along by O'Dowda instead. England have kept a really high line, 12 yards outside the box. Now they'll drop deep, but O'Dowda flights it forward. Collins the target, Bellingham beat him in the air, heads it away. It's out for a throw that will be taken on the Irish right-hand side. Stuart Collins.
Yeah, I think this respite that Ireland have got from defending will come very welcome this late in the game. As I say, they've been able to push England right back. A couple of set plays, looks as though long throws coming in the box now. They'll look to get first contact on this and keep it alive.
As Norway go 3 up in their game against Kazakhstan, 2 there for Haaland, 1 for Sirlock. And it's Eberseli that is going to launch this long throw inside the penalty area. No, he hasn't. He's worked it short towards O'Shea. Back out for Festi Eberseli. Now he can deliver straight into the hands of Pickford. Couldn't quite get enough whip and pull the ball back. The Irish players were about 9-10 yards from goal, and he was 4 or 5 yards further towards goal than that. Straight into the hands of the orange-clad Jordan Pickford. And England are going to be able to bring it away. What will the take-home be from Lee Carsley from this first 45 minutes, Stu, bearing in mind that for all of England's possession, and they've had 75% of the ball, they haven't had a single shot on target?
A little bit slow on the build-up for me, not switching the ball as quickly as we probably could have done, and maybe just mixing up the game a little bit, you know. On occasion, just put a little diagonal in behind the back line, compete for it, and see if we can get the seconds, just to unhinge them, create a little bit of chaos. It's very, very difficult when teams bank up and they're very dogged. And to credit to Ireland, they've been outstanding in the way they've set the team up.
3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, Andy.
Yeah, they've worked very hard, Ireland. I think well in the game actually, just at this particular point. And again, I think for England just need to play that little bit quicker and try, which will happen naturally. Second half, as players start to tire, there will be changes, of course, but as players start to get a little bit tired, all of a sudden there's always that little bit more space, and that's when they've got to make their quality tell. But so far, I think Ireland are well worth being very, very, being level pegging in the game.
Now England win the corner. They're fifth. As Livramento drives down the right-hand touchline. Schmodics followed him every step of the way. Weke will go across, retrieve the ball from in front of the electronic hoardings and make his way forward, spot the ball down in front of the Belgian assistant referee. England have got Walker stood right next to Harry Kane. They're just having a word with each other there in the D. Gordon makes his way into the D as well. Gallagher tends to be the man that stands inside the 6-yard box for nuisance value rather than anything else. Bellingham also making a run in from deep. It's in towards Walker again. It's cleared. Back out for Livramento. Ball back for Madueke. He's on, but he's undersold it. And now Ireland might be able to play forward quickly on the counter-attack. Really good covering from Lewis Hall, that. Knew that the danger was there if possession was turned over. Schmodics chasing after it. And Hall, with an electrifying burst of pace, was there first to be able to mop up.
Yeah, I was more than pleased there to see Hall get first contact on that. If Schmodics would have done, Hall would have had to do a bit of defending, it's fair to say.
Now, Harry Kane has just got involved with Ferguson.
Whoa, I tell you what, I've just seen on the monitors here, looks like Harry's thrown an arm.
Well, he could be in trouble here. So Jason Malumbi, in fact, is the player that is down, and referee Eric Lambrecht is going to call Harry Kane over. This could be red. He's just giving himself a little bit of thinking time. Malumbi is there as well now, along with Kane. Collision between the pair of them. It's a yellow apiece.
I think maybe the captaincy and one or two other things may have played a part in that, but we've seen them red on many an occasion.
I think his initial thought, the ref, was to give a red. I'm just watching a rerun here that Malumbi and Harry Kane... No, he's actually... It's not an arm he throws. He just grabs him and wrestles him to the ground. It's not a red card, it has to be said. And Malumbi shouldn't really be holding his face for that.
He was holding his face. Walker took exception to the fact that he was holding his face, hoiked him back to his feet with hands under the armpit. And the half-time interval will just calm that little bit of tension down. But England, through 45 minutes, plenty of possession, not a single constructive goal-scoring opportunity has ended on target. At the break, work to do. England 0, Ireland 0.
Well, commentary was better than the game, no doubt about that. That was not fun. Let's take a look at the half-time highlights with Carly.
Half-time highlights on Talksport with Carly. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Honestly, Jason Malumbi, what an absolute clown. What he's trying to do there is get the England captain and record scorer sent off by pretending that he's had an elbow or an arm thrown in his face. So he's gone down with his hands holding his face. I mean, does he not realise that, officials are watching the game? We can all see it didn't happen. What an absolute joke that is.
When I first saw it looked like, to be honest, sort of just out the corner of my eye, I thought I saw Harry sort of trying to shrug him away and sort of throwing an arm in doing so, which happens. But then we just see that one on the monitors. If that's the only angle, the last one we just saw, which clearly looked like Harry just wrestled him to the ground, didn't throw an arm. And again, I think in the end they both get a yellow card, probably, and that's because Jason Malumbi hit the floor when he didn't need to.
Yeah, and he's put his hands to his face like he's been clobbered. So I think 2 yellows there, absolutely spot on. In terms of the game, Stuart Pearce, it's attack versus defence. Largely until those couple of free kicks, couple of moments that Ireland had towards the end of the half. It's been attack versus defence, but England haven't attacked well enough, brightly enough, sharply enough, quickly enough, not with enough intelligence, imagination. It's been easy, relatively, for Ireland to defend it. England need to do something different, be brighter in the second half, I think.
They do, but what I've got to say is Ireland have been very, very dogged in what they're trying to achieve. I think the 2 wide players in midfield have done a brilliant job in getting back and supporting their fullbacks. I don't think England have mixed the game up as well as they probably could have done. And I think we need to switch the play a little bit quicker than we have done, because when you're in shape, it's easy to slide across. When that ball moves quickly, it enables the wide players to receive it with an extra yard or 2 to get turned and really drive before players are getting doubled up.
There's got to be some imagination there, Stuart, hasn't there? Because England have fallen into that trap that we really don't like, which is going backwards, going sideways, taking a touch, passing it sideways, taking a touch, passing it backwards. They need to be sharper than that. They have been dogged and worked hard, Ireland, but I think England have made it quite easy for them to work hard and be defensive.
Yeah, I think in this one, out the 2 teams, I would say who's responsible for this. I would say Ireland are the team that their tactics and their work ethic have made it difficult, and I wouldn't put the blame solely on England's doorstep and say England, their deficiency's been awful today. I can't say that. I think you've got to tip your hat to the Irish, and I think they've been outstanding in what they've tried to achieve.
So does that mean, Andy, that there's not a lot England can do if Ireland keep working that hard and keep doing things properly?
They've got to be better. I mean, I think they've been a bit flat, England, if I'm being perfectly honest. Again, I think in the middle of the park there's a lot of traffic in there, but I don't think they move the ball effectively enough in there, Conor Gallagher or Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones a couple of times. When you have a Morgan Rogers, when you have a player that can get across the ground, can run with the ball, and he can go beyond people, that's what I'm not seeing. The only 2 players really, I think, in an England shirt that have looked like they want to get at people is Madueke down the right, Gordon occasionally off the left, and Lewis Hall from a left-back position getting to the byline and clipping a few balls up. Everything else is in front of the green shirts, and then it becomes easier to handle, much easier to handle. Bellingham's trying to make the odd run, but he's looking for a world-beater ball to find him. Somebody else has got to get in there, travel with the ball, go beyond a midfield player, and then drag a defender or 2 out to find a little bit of room.
Stuart Pearce, we've talked in the past about Bellingham and a little bit of red mist. He got a booking for what looked like no apparent reason, but he's gone charging over to an incident where Madueke's clearly fouled O'Dowda. It's a clear foul, it's a yellow card. What Bellingham's doing, getting involved, I don't know, but he keeps chuntering away to himself. as he's going back into the box to defend, he's moaning, he's snapping, he's barking. And he's on a yellow. I mean, just concentrate on the game, surely. That's all he needs to do.
Well, not to mention he spent an eternity going down the tunnel talking to the fourth official about something as well. So, as you say, I think he got booked in Greece as well, didn't he? So he's just got to watch himself, because what you've got to be fearful of is when the big occasion comes at the major tournaments and you're shown red. All of a sudden, the implications of that are drastic.
It's hard for him, mate, because he tries to do everything.
Yeah.
And I mean in a good way. He's always trying to pick the game up for his team and others around him. Now, what Jude's got to sort of get to grips with is that what he's got to be is the most effective Jude Bellingham. Where is that? If that means letting others do a bit of the charging back here, there and everywhere, so as he can pick it up when England turn the ball over and find him and then run and get at people, a bit like he did for his goal the other night in Greece, where he picked it up, he went 20-30 yards with it, Piercy, didn't he, to the edge of the box. When I say his goal, it was the one that was an own goal, but it hit the post, hit the goal in, went in. Now that sort of situation, we haven't seen that so far in that opening 45 minutes. Ireland aren't coming out. England have got to find ways to draw them out. It might well be when Ireland are attacking and Ireland's back four up on the halfway line, if England win the ball, they've got to be a bit quicker and a bit smarter when Ireland are there in that sort of position and utilise the space behind them. But at the moment, everything's in front of Paul Grimson's side, and he'll be more than content with what he's seen.
Ireland working hard to destroy anything England might try to create. Hence, no shots on target at all from England in that first half. No shots on or off target from Ireland in that first half. It's been that kind of 45. That was all thanks to Carling 18+. Please drink responsibly.
Halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling. 18+, always drink responsibly.
So from 7:30 tonight, when we're done here at Wembley, Majestic and Alan Pardew will give you a chance to have your say on national radio after the game. So make a note of the number, 0371722 3344, and Alan Pardew joins us next on the show.
The Big Wix event is now on. They've got everything you need to turn your ideas into a reality. From tiles to flooring, doors, kitchens, bathrooms and more, they have everything you need to start your next home improvement project. So whether you want to give your home a little touch-up or a full-scale makeover, shop the Big Wix event. In-store and online now. Click to find out more.
The Volkswagen Drive Electric sale is here, featuring the ID3, ID4 and ID5. That's the sound of drivers powering up and enjoying our supercharged offers, all with an extra £1,000 off, plus a free Omi home charger with standard installation. Experience the electrified world of Volkswagen. Sale must end tomorrow for delivery by end of year. UK 18+ retail customers only. T's and C's apply. £1,000 including VAT saving to on-the-road stock vehicles price, subject to eligibility.
What can you get for £3.50 these days? You could get 5 kilos of carrots and scoff the lot. Then when your electrics break down, they might help you see in the dark. Or you could get plumbing and electrics cover from HomeServe and get it sorted without any fuss. For plumbing and electrics cover from just £3.50 per month, search HomeServe. UK mainland only. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply.
1053 medium wave on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Kick-off international special
on Talksport.
Well, as much as I was smiling in Athens watching England's youngsters produce a really good performance that should and could lead to promotion back to the top tier in the Nations League, this 45 has not been particularly impressive. Let's speak to Alan Pardew, who's coming up with Majestic from 7:30 when we're done here at Wembley. Pards, how you doing?
How you doing, Adrian? You okay?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm just about recovering from that first half. It wasn't great, was it? I mean, Ireland did what we thought they might do, which was try and destroy everything and work hard to stop England, and that's exactly what happened, and England didn't have anything to throw at them, really.
No, I mean, obviously they're going to defend deep and make it difficult. I just thought that we got a little bit trapped in the Greek game, in that we had so much success down the flanks particularly with Gordon and Madueke, that, you know, sort of one-on-one situation. But we've not been. They've doubled up on those sides and made it almost impossible for them to go on the outside. I personally would like to see our two fullbacks, progress a little bit more, do some internal runs, or get on the outside of our wide players and be a lot more progressive. That would be the message I would give, because this is going to be really hard to break down otherwise. You know, Harry's coming short. I would definitely be advising him to start going in behind a little bit, just little runs down the sides of them, see if we can, open up that really thick set defence.
I was going to ask you about Harry Kane. He got booked right on half-time, and probably deservedly so. And I don't think he was particularly great. There was a moment in the first half where he had acres of space just inside the Ireland half, and he thought, right, create something. His first touch was terrible. Scales then cleaned him out with a really good tackle. And I just thought, he's not at it tonight, not on his game at all. What can he do different, or would you replace him?
Well, I think the easy thing is to say, replace him. He hasn't had a great 45 minutes. No, he's not alone in that. We just look a little bit running out of ideas, and I think this is where, replacements are very, very important, particularly at international level. And we got able bodies on the sideline. I think Harry would need to start the second half well for me if I was managing that team, and I would like, as I say, to see him sort of stay at the top of the pitch. There don't seem any point for me to start linking it. He's coming deep, as he does for Munich at times, and he's done in this latter part of his career, but I really don't think that's what's necessary this evening. That frustration he had there at the end, I think, was sort of typical of that 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it could have gone wrong, that situation at the end. It definitely wasn't a red card, but you never know what's going to happen. And when it gets, we were talking earlier, when it gets to a major tournament, Bellingham as well got a needless yellow card. Sometimes England players just have to hold, their discipline a little bit better.
Well, that is a question mark that is always against in international level in particular. We've seen over the years, and how many games have we seen like this at England at Wembley, where defenders come deep, make it frustrating, and players get wrapped up in kind of their emotions of frustration, and therefore they can't produce their best. We've seen it. Well, I've seen it many, many years, as you guys have. But, I think it is a question of mark against players to understand that it is going to be frustrating. You've got to bide your time, wait for those moments. I think on the sideline, looking at this, what we have on the bench, there are options. Watkins in particular, I think, who the other night was always looking to get down the sides a little bit more than Harry. I think that would be a natural thing I would be thinking about if I was Carsley. But for me, the two fullbacks definitely need to be a little bit more assertive. Stuart Pearce type, get down there, go on.
Great stuff, thank you very much. Looking forward to listening to the phone in on the way back from 7:30 when we're done at Wembley. It's Majestic with Alan Pardew. It's Finland 0, Greece 0, England 0, Ireland 0 elsewhere. So England, as it stands, will be promoted. And what a very difficult quiz question set by Jim Proudfoot. 7 most capped English-born Ireland internationals. I can tell you that Andy Townsend's come up with an absolute cracker, and I don't mean himself. I've come up with 7 others, but I'm not confident at all. Is Tony Cascarino in there, I wonder? I think so. We shall wait and see. Jim will give us the answer very, very shortly indeed. But they're ready for the second half. It's England 0, Ireland 0. It's got to get better, hasn't it? Here's Andy Townsend, Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
Yeah, we'll give it 15 minutes to give you the answer to that question. I think between the three of you, I think you've got probably 4 or 5. But I don't know how you're getting on at home or in the car, but give you the answer about 15 minutes into this second half. It's going to be England getting us underway. White shirts, dark blue shorts, and they're kicking from right to left. And Jude Bellingham with the first touch of the second half works it back for Jordan Pickford, who will play it out towards Kyle Walker. Walker at centre-half alongside Mark Gahey, with Livramento and Hall either side of them. Gallagher and Jones, then Madueke, Bellingham and Gordon, with Harry Kane up front. Ireland Kelleher in goal, O'Shea, McGuinness, Scales and O'Dowda. Then Collins, then Eboseli, Cullen, Malumbi and Schmoditz, and Ferguson, with Bellingham, Madueke, Kane, Scales and Malumbi all in the book from that first 45 minutes. England have got the ball 15 yards inside the Irish half, and we've seen them in this kind of position so frequently. A reminder, England will be promoted if they win or if they match Greece's result away in Finland. They're doing that at the moment. Both games are 0-0 at the start of the second half. Gordon plays it back for the blonde-haired Lewis Hall, and the two Newcastle players combine again. Hall then behind square for Gahey. Gahey into a little pocket of space for Harry Kane. He finds Gallagher. Gallagher working it briskly out towards the England right-hand side for Noni Madueke. Little step over from him. Gets it onto his right foot, then chops it back onto his left. Gallagher making a run forward. Livramento fires the ball in. Scales heads it away. Off the top of Eberselli's dreadlocks and further outside the penalty area, but not too far. And Hall will be able to pick it up again. Hall down to the left-hand side. Led with the edge of the penalty area finds Gordon. Gordon to Hall, to Gahey. Back for Kyle Walker. Walker 25 yards outside the box. Goes to Tino Livramento. Livramento to Gallagher. And the two exchange passes again. Very familiar pattern of play this for England, in that arc that has been described so many times from the edge of one penalty area round to the edge of the other. England just playing across it at the moment but not able to play through it. Gallagher trying to poke it on. Cullen slides it away. Bellingham picks up the loose ball. Then turns, feeds Noni Madueke again. Madueke into the feet of Jude Bellingham. Bellingham almost doing a full 360 with his right foot on the top of the ball. Looking around, surveying his options. Pinged in towards Kane. Kane chesting it down. Collins is there with him. He's chipped it across. Gordon going up for it at the far post. Well defended by Dara O'Shea. He's able to get it to relative safety. Now it comes back again with Hall to Gahey to Jones and back out towards Anthony Gordon. And the first corner of the second half has been conceded by Festi Eberselli. It's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, super ball laid up to the far post there. Just thinking half time, what could England do? Over to you, Jim.
This corner is worked short. Back for Curtis Jones. Bellingham, right-footed, flipped in, and Scales is there to head it away. What conclusions did you come up with?
Well, I'm just thinking, if there was a change to be made, do we dispense with either Gallagher or Jones and put Gibbs White in to play alongside Bellingham as a sort of more advanced player? I'm not sure we need two holding midfield players for a game as it stands at the moment.
Here's Jude Bellingham down towards Lewis Hall. Hall playing it back for Curtis Jones. Conor Gallagher taking it on. Walker coming forward again. Over on the right-hand side, Madueke, who has sold, no doubt, a complete dummy there. Livramento outside him, chops the ball back inside the penalty area, and it's comfortably caught by Quaveen Keller. From an Irish perspective, Andy Townsend, how Grimston looking at? Just more of the same?
Yeah, be more of the same. I mean, that's a really good start actually to the second half from England, far better. All the space on this field is in the wide areas in front of Madueke down England's right and Gordon down their left. So the question for me for England is how quickly they can get those guys in the best positions to go and do their jobs, go and do what they do best, and that's running at people and providing crosses for Bellingham and Kane in the box. Everything else in between, I think, is an irrelevance. They've got to get it out to those wide boys and say, take people on, get beyond them. And England have tried to do that, to be fair, at the start of the second period. Ireland are happy just to bank up, pinch the odd throw in, get a little bit of respite, wait for a moment to really have a chance with Eberselli to get forward.
You're listening to England against Ireland in the UEFA Nations League with Carling. 18 plus. Always drink responsibly. Ball is out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the Irish left, hurled forward towards halfway. And then returned. Flicked on in the midfield by Collins, but easy for Carl Walker to mop up. Walker able to bring it forward. Ferguson will drop off and allow that to happen. Ball is rolled in towards Curtis Jones, who had Ferguson and Malumbi on his toes straight away. He did well to turn away and out of pressure. Ball played then down towards Gordon. Now they'll be cleared up the Right-hand side, but given away by McGuinness. And then Kane fashions a wonderful ball inside the penalty area. Bellingham goes down. Penalty to England. That is a sensational ball by Harry Kane. Such a good ball. The three England players stopped and applauded it. He's pinged it right-footed, about 2 feet off the ground, straight through the penalty area. Found Jude Bellingham, who chopped it back onto his right foot. He was there, and Bellingham is brought down. Scales with the challenge, who, having already been booked in the first half, he's now sent off. So Ireland are down to 10 men, and England have the chance from the penalty spot to take the lead and potentially win promotion.
Well, literally from a situation where Ireland had won the ball on this touchline, left it for each other, and Harry Kane has delivered a pass that had all of us, we stood right behind it basically. It was world class, there is no doubt in our mind, and it's created chaos. It's that thing. He's delivered a ball that's drew a penalty, has got a player sent off, and it looks as though he's got himself an opportunity to get on the score sheet.
Unbelievable pass that and spot from Harry Kane. Brilliant first touch from Bellingham. Liam Scales tracking back, trying to make a challenge, catches Bellingham, definite penalty. Ireland now down to 10 and look like they're about to go one down, unless Caoimhín Kelleher can produce something very special here.
Well, he saved one on Thursday. This is a ground that's been a happy hunting ground for him, saving penalties and shootouts in the past. Saved the penalty against Finland on Thursday. Can he save one against Harry Kane here at Wembley? Chance for England's captain to put them ahead. Right foot in, sends Kelleher the wrong way. England leading by a goal to nil. And 35 minutes away from promotion.
We talked in depth about Harry Kane and his captaincy and everything, and the weeks he's had leading into this, not playing in Greece, that would have hurt him a little bit, but he's delivered in the best possible way, to be fair. That pass in itself, Andy, was worth the admission price for a young aspiring football fan.
A stunning ball from Harry Kane. It's actually one thing, and of course the Ireland players are gathering around the referee and complaining about whether or not would Liam Scales absolutely have to be given a yellow card for that one. Was it a genuine attempt to play the ball? I'd need to see it again. However, the ball from Harry Kane is absolute world class. It's 40 yards and it's literally delivered on a plate for Jude Bellingham. He's had to ping it. If he hits it slow or soft or clips it, it gets intercepted. Bellingham's touch is a good one. Comes inside, just about to take the shot. He does get caught by Liam Scales. And the rest is history. Harry Kane pops it in.
I'm not sure you could be sending players off. Not when the ball's on the penalty spot, Andy. I really don't.
I don't think so for that. I didn't think it. Look, again, the footballer on the planet that wouldn't attempt to make a challenge there on Jude Bellingham when he's about to strike the ball from about 7 yards.
Well, if it's a genuine attempt to win the ball, which it appeared to be, I think he's hard done by. And of course, the VAR can't get involved in that because it's a second yellow card. Had it been a straight red, he would have looked at it. But as a second yellow, it can't. I think that Ireland will feel hard done by. No doubt it was a penalty. Absolutely no doubt. But Al Grimson, I think, is going to be pretty upset that his side are down to 10 men with it.
Yeah, and that's that, Jim. I mean, now that radically alters proceedings. That really does. Now Ireland, of course, are going to be backs to the wall. Nathan Collins has already dropped into a back four now, which means they're going to be a little lighter in the middle of the park. England should expose that. Now it is a question, Piercy, about how quick England can switch that ball and get those wide men alive.
Yeah, it was the case before. It's certainly become the case now, without a doubt. And I don't know whether sooner rather than later Lee Carsley might look at 2 or 3 substitutions. I think Gibbs White will be quite well suited in a game like this now.
So Nathan Collins, as Andy says, has just dropped in at centre half into the position vacated by Scales. So it's now O'Shea, McGuinness, Collins and O'Dowda, Eberseli, Cullen, Malumbi and Schmolix and Ferguson. As England bring it forward again with Tino Livramento. He's got past Schmolix, gets to the byline, fires it in. He's cleared by one into another, and Gordon is there to capitalise and volley in for 2. Pinball inside the penalty area as one Irish defender smacked it at another. Anthony Gordon said, "Thank you so much." 2 in 3 minutes for England. And And as Harry Kane scores his 69th goal for his country, Gordon gets his very first. Proud moment for him. England 2, Ireland 0. And against 10 men, that will be job done.
Well, we talked about putting the ball into areas that just might create chaos. That's exactly what happened there. There was no England player anywhere near two Irish players that were attempting to deal with it. A poor deflection, and it just fell so nicely for Gordon.
Nathan Collins there as the centre half. He's got Josh Cullen coming back towards him. Needs to put a big name on that and make a positive contact on the ball. He doesn't. It then deflects towards the edge of the 6-yard box on the far post, where Anthony Gordon, to his credit, sweeps it in beautifully on the volley.
Really good finish from Anthony Gordon. His first international goal coming in his 9th appearance. And that double strike important for England, because the 2 goals have been exactly mirrored over in Helsinki, where Greece are now 2 up away to Finland, with Bakasetas and Solis scoring on 52 and 57 minutes. England have scored on 53 and 56. Lead by 2 goals to 0. Remember, all that matters from an English perspective tonight is victory, and that will see them win the group. No goal difference, nothing to worry about. England have the head-to-head advantage over Greece if the sides finish level on points, and they're destined to do that, both on 15 points apiece. Here's Kyle Walker, and there's an air of relief to a certain extent around Wembley. It had just got a little bit quiet and nervy, but England now set fair for promotion and looking for more. Collins comes across and through ball towards Livramento, is spooned away out for another England corner. It's 2-0.
I think Ireland have been taught a tough lesson, really, for all the hard work they've put in. One moment of brilliance with a pull by Kane and the sending off, which I totally don't agree with, and all of a sudden this game, and then one mistake at the back, lack of concentration, and they find themselves 2-0 down, and they can rightly say, well, we didn't see that coming. Where's that come from?
Yeah, the game's literally gone away from them in 10 minutes at the start of the second half. England did start the second period very well, and now they're absolutely in full control.
Here's corner number 7, swung in, Gahey, and bundled in for 3 by Conor Gallagher. May well have been Gallagher that got the last touch. A brilliant delivery from Noni Madueke. It's 3 goals in 5 minutes. And Ireland are being torn apart. Great flick on by Mark Gahey at the near post. And it's his one-time Palace teammate Gallagher that's got round the back, and he too adds his first international goal. England 3, Ireland 0. How quickly everything can change. The blink of an eye, one decision, one sublime pass, and England are running away with it.
Yeah, they certainly are. The concentration just ebbs slightly, and obviously within the space of literally 10 minutes, 3 goals. Just having a look now, whether it was offside. I don't think it was.
No, I think he's okay.
Timing of the run good.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher was standing at the back post. He then stepped back onside to then gamble and go across the goal, and he's got a tap in from a yard out because Ireland can't deal with that first contact. Good ball from Madueke to the near. Mark Gahey is who challenges. I'll tell you what, looking at it, he might be offside.
Not quite. It was really, really close. And there was a part of his body that was in an offside position, his left arm, but your arm can't score a goal, so therefore that's okay. And it was the heel of one of the Irish defenders that just played Gallagher on. I mean, it is really, really tight. Jude Bellingham would have finished it off, and Gallagher not got there. In fact, the two of them almost tackled each other a foot off the line, but it is Gallagher's goal. England 3 up, and we're going to see another England debutant now that they're in this position of security. Taylor Harwood-Bellis of Southampton is going to get the opportunity to come on for his debut. 22-year-old who won 24 caps for the under-21s, 21 of them under Carsley. Part of that side that won the European Championship at age group level, and he's going to be coming on in a moment. Here's Gordon. Gordon back through the midfield for Bellingham. England 3 up with 3 goals in 5 minutes. Livramento to Madueke. Madueke running towards the edge of the penalty area. Jude Bellingham's got it now. Bellingham chopping in onto his left and then his right. Going back out towards Livramento. Ball in from Kane, looping deflection, Bellingham come to meet it, and Kelleher's going to get there first and can bring the ball safely under control. England 3, Ireland 0 with an hour gone here on Talksport. Andy Townsend.
Yeah, England have been very good since the restart, and they've just blitzed Ireland here in 10 minutes, and the game is completely now theirs in the palm of their hands. They can make changes, they can enjoy the evening. As for Ireland, I wonder how much longer they're going to persist with Ebosele and Sammy Schmodix up there with Evan Ferguson. Because what you're 3 down, what you don't want to do is get beat 6 or 7 here, and it could end up that way. So I think it might be time now to get some more numbers in there and try and just keep the score down as respectable as they possibly can. But really tough remainder of the game here for Ireland.
Well, we understand it's going to be Harwood Bellis coming on to replace Gallagher, which will be an interesting change as Livramento works down the right-hand side of the box, and Schmodix will clear. We'll just, now the ball has been put out of play, we'll have that confirmed, expecting number 16 and 4 to come out. No, it's Walker rather than Gallagher, which makes a lot more sense. So Harwood Bellis alongside Gahey at centre-half, and Carl Walker comes off. 3-0 England, Stuart.
Yeah, whilst I don't think they've had a great deal of defending to do, Walker and Gahey, I think the experiment of sliding Walker in there's not been a bad one over these 2 games. I certainly think that Gahey is becoming one of England's most important players. I really am. I just think what he offers, we seem so much more solid at the back, and I know they've not been pressurised a great deal in today's game, but certainly what he offers in reading the game will be invaluable in a year and a half's time.
So Gordon plays the ball forward looking for Bellingham. It's put out of play by McGuinness, and it's going to be another England corner, taken on the left this time. Anthony Gordon will take it. Gallagher again lurking around the edge of the 6-yard box for nuisance value by the penalty spot. Bellingham is there just on his haunches. Gahey as well in towards Kane. The ball is delivered deep. Kelleher punches it away effectively. Comes out for Lewis Hall. Oh, great drop of the shoulder from Hall. Almost pirouetted his way through. Then a Rabona attempt from the edge of the penalty area. Has scooped it way over the crossbar from Conor Gallagher. It shows what confidence you've got when you just scored your first international goal. If he'd scored his second like that, we'd have been talking about it for years.
Well, whilst a lot of the supporters around the ground went whoa when he done that, my esteemed colleague to my left had a face like a smack bottom. Very unimpressed.
Yes, I tell you what, it's a good job. A good job it's not 30 years ago, and that's the green shirts out there. So if you start to feel like people are taking the mickey, because effectively that's what Conor Gallagher just did there. Listen, when you're 3 up, you can, but and of course the game is a very, very different one now. Very, very different. But again, fair play to Lee Carsley. Ashley Cole clearly got the message and the point across at half-time that they need to apply more pressure. There has to be there has to be more threat. England have had all of that in 3 goals in what, 18 minutes.
Kane on 53, Gordon on 56, Gallagher on 58. Scales sent off. It's a long throw from Ebosele inside the England penalty area, at least that's what he hoped it would be. It wasn't. And he's just presented it straight to Lewis Hall, who's volleyed it easily upfield. And England are on the counter here with Bellingham. Little collision off the ball. Bellingham to Kane. Kane rolling it in for Curtis Jones. Check back, Madueke is there. And it's smuggled clear by Cullen. And they'll be able to get it to safety over on the far touchline, Ireland. But England breaking forward with real pace there. Give you the answer to the trivia question in just a couple of minutes' time. A quick reminder of it if you're just joining us. 7 most capped internationals who've played for Ireland but who were born in England. And in fact, the medical staff are being waved on here because of a problem for Ebosele, and that gives us the chance to look at those now. So, who have you come up with then, fellas? Who are the 7 that you've got? Andy?
Well, we've got Paul McGrath. Correct.
Paul McGrath is correct. That's a special answer. That was a difficult one.
Yeah, I didn't think, again, mention that one to Pearson. Myself.
Yes.
Aldo.
Correct.
Kevin Kilban.
Kevin Kilban, the most of them, yeah. So that's 4.
Cass
is 5.
Yes. Big Mick.
No, he didn't win quite enough.
Did he not? Okay. Chrissy Houghton.
Didn't win quite enough.
Okay. Jason McAteer.
Similarly.
Okay. I'm struggling now, Jim.
I think five's a good effort. You've got one of the difficult ones. You've got Paul McGrath. There's another one that you just, you look at you and Cass and think, okay, they are players that were born in England who play for Ireland. One of the others, you would think he was born in Dublin.
All right, okay.
But wasn't.
Okay.
And the other is, you're going to hate me for.
Oh, goodness. No, I'm struggling. Go on.
Okay, David O'Leary.
Do you know, I was actually going to say Dave just now, and I thought, I don't want to embarrass myself, so I didn't say it. But I was going to go David.
And the other?
Go on.
Declan Rice.
Declan, of course it is.
He's got 65 caps. Only 3 of them for Ireland.
Yeah.
But, 65 caps.
That's a little bit of a trick question there, Jim. You've thrown one in there as a curveball.
You're better than that, Jim.
So, Kilban, Cascarino, McGrath, Townsend, Aldridge, O'Leary and Rice. That's your 7. Changes are being made. Eberseli has received this treatment. He's being led away from the field. Evan Ferguson is coming off. And he's going to be replaced by Troy Parrott. We're also going to see Ryan Manning and Finn Azaz. So those are the changes that are being made. Eberseli not in a position to be able to continue. And O'Dowda has come off as well. So Eberseli, O'Dowda and Ferguson replaced by Azaz, Manning and Troy Parrott, who will now be leading the line. Andy?
Yeah, Finn Azaz on the right side. Ryan Manning is a left back straight away up against Noni Madueke.
And losing the battle, Madueke right past him, scything through the 6-yard box. Couldn't get any purchase on his cross. And it's picked up by Quaveen Kelly. 3-0 against the 10-man of Ireland.
Stuart, he does that well, Madueke, the way he goes. He's prepared to go in and on the overlap on the outside, isn't he?
That is the big key. When you're sort of playing out that side, you're tempted to go inside on your stronger foot. But I tell you what, he'll do both. And that is a defender's nightmare.
Now the ball clipped forward down the right by Azaz. Born in Birmingham, playing for Ireland. And he's got it again. Just a nice little stab layoff that McGuinness didn't quite read. And Gordon is first to it and finds Kane. And then he goes out towards the England right-hand side for Livramento. Livramento out towards Noni Madueke again. Livramento's continued his run. Pulls it back towards Harry Kane. To Madueke. Left-footed ball driven in from him. Bellingham just trying to feather a little touch past Kelleher. Couldn't quite. Ball hits the goalkeeper in the midriff and goes to safety for Ireland. Good goalkeeper.
When you consider being safe all the time, and we watched England's performance in the first half, when you look where the goals come from, a diagonal pass in here from Kane, an outstanding one, ball into the box, created chaos, fell to Gordon. On that occasion, same again. You're just chipping the ball in the box, make people deal with it.
He does that great, Jude Bellingham. The timing of his runs and his ability to arrive on cue. It's not easy to do that. Not everybody can do that from that position. And he always does it particularly well. I mean, for the penalty, unbelievable ball from Harry Kane, but it needed someone to make a run in the box and get in there and make something of it, and he absolutely did that.
That pass from Kane, world class. It is the pass that has literally changed this game. Running wide open, England 3 up, and they know that they're going to be winning this group and they will be avoiding that promotion playoff. They will end up being drawn in either a group of 4 or a group of 5 for the World Cup qualifiers. Much more chance, 75% chance they'll end up in a group of 5. As Bellingham makes his way forward towards the edge of the box here, Kane can turn, chips it into space. Madueke brings it down. He's unlucky. He just got a touch with his right foot and it bounced into the ground, and then as he came back up, it hit his knee and goes out of play for a goal kick. As far as Ireland are concerned, they've got a pretty good idea now who they're going to be playing in their relegation playoff. It could be Slovakia or Kosovo or Armenia or one of Northern Ireland, Bulgaria, Belarus. That's how it's looking. And the Irish will be seeded, so the first leg will be away and the second leg will be at the Aviva. Both of those games in the last 10 days of March next year.
Well done there, Jim. Narrowed it down to just the 7, eh?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you, he was about 27 3 days ago. You know what UEFA are like. They make things so transparent and easy. Ball chipped over the top. Don't even get me started on England's potential opponents in the World Cup qualifying draw, because we will be here until the first game is played.
We can't exactly book an hotel at the minute, though, Jim, can we?
No, not easy to. Not easy. It's Conor Gallagher. He's bladed through the midfield towards Curtis Jones. Our stadium producer Dec McCarthy tells me that in Anthony Gordon and Conor Gallagher, 2 players have scored their first England goals in the same match for the first time since England put 10 past San Marino 3 years ago, almost to the day, when it was Smith Rowe and Mings. England getting in inside the penalty area here. Madueke flashes across through the 6. Kane couldn't get there. Comes out towards Gordon. Gordon back for Curtis Jones again. Jones laying it off towards Bellingham, trying to find a way past Malumbi. Gets it back. Little 1-2 around the edge of the box. Bellingham goes to ground. Play goes on. Gordon's got the ball now. Bellingham's still down. He's just slowly getting back to his feet now. Gallagher with his foot on the top of the ball saw that his teammate was all right and elects to play on rather than putting it out of play so he could receive treatment. And Bellingham just looks down at his right leg, but he's happy that he's all right and able to continue without the need for any treatment. Jared Bowen's going to be coming on very shortly. Down in front of us, the ball on the right-hand side of the penalty area here is Madueke again, just tries to scythe through single-handedly, and having been thwarted the first time, he gets another go, and then Livramento plays it in towards Kane, and it just rolled away from him before he could get a shot in. And it's cleared by Cullen from inside his own penalty area, and it's backs to the wall as far as Ireland are concerned. Yeah, really. It's in fact going to be a triple change. I'm sorry, Andy. Yeah. Rogers, Bowen and Solanke about to come on for England.
Yep. Again, no surprises there. Lee Carsley now show no mercy, get fresh legs out there and really try and rack up the numbers. They've got a very comfortable lead. Ireland will be absolutely happy just to take a 3-0 and enjoy the experience of Wembley. First half they showed good organisation, but as soon as that first goal went in and then losing a red card as well made it really difficult. I was just going to ask you guys, has Bukayo Saka, probably for the first time in a while, got a real competition out there, Piercy, now with Madueke?
100%. Over the 2 games I thought he was the best player in Greece, and push comes to shove, I would say he's been arguably the best player for England this evening, because everything that threatens the opposition's goal is something to do with him.
Yeah. I think he's been the standout England player in this brief Lee Carsley reign. 3 substitute appearances, 2 starts, and I think he's excelled in certainly 4 of those 5 appearances, if not all 5. It's Finn Azaz for Ireland, playing it back towards the edge of his own penalty area for McGuinness. Kelleher will clear, but he didn't really make clean contact, and the ball drops onto the head of Lewis Hall, 20 yards still inside Irish territory. England maintaining possession, the ball ain't gone out, so they can't make that triple change as yet. It's rolled forward now by Bellingham. Ball's got in level with the edge of the penalty area. Poke round the corner for Bellingham's run. Bellingham staying on his feet under a challenge from O'Shea. Did his best to, and then lost his balance. And Jude Bellingham wins a free kick to England, and they can now make the changes. So, who's coming off? First of all, it's Anthony Gordon, and Morgan Rogers is going to come on for his home debut to replace him. And a good ovation for Gordon, a play that he will never forget, having scored his first goal for his country. And similarly, this man, Conor Gallagher, it was a tap in from close range, fired into the roof of the net. Conor Gallagher off. And Nolly Madueke is the other who will make way. So Harry Kane's still out there. Well, his workload managed the other night rather than tonight. So Gallagher, Madueke and Gordon off. Rogers, Bowen and Solanke on the replacement.
It looks as though Solanke will go and play alongside Harry Kane, certainly with the Irish down to 10 men. There's no harm in that at all. Obviously something to have a look at as well. We don't often see 2 strikers.
Andrew Moran is going to be coming on in a moment as well for Ireland, but they want to defend this set piece before they bring him on. It's a yard from the left-hand side of the box. It's 6 yards from the dead ball line. It's Bellingham getting it back, rolling it in. Oh, fired in, left-footed. Jared Bowen scores Oh, his first touch. He's only been on the field 15 seconds. Great, well-worked set piece. Knocked short by Bellingham, gets the return ball, rolls it 15 yards from goal across the edge of the area, and there is Jared Bowen to smack the ball into the net, and he too scores his first goal for his country. What a moment. Big, beaming smile on his face. England 4, Ireland 0. Jared Bowen sat on the bench 30 seconds ago. Now he's on the score sheet.
If you have a look at the build-up to that, Harry Kane was influential. He went over to Bellingham and said, let's work on the one that we've worked on. I knew something was going to get pulled back potentially. Harry Kane made sure that Solanke and him cleared the space, and then Bowen had the easiest, I say easiest, the task, just had to keep it down. But I think the captain had a big part in setting that up.
Yeah, very well worked, beautifully executed as well. Lovely ball from Bellingham, just at the right pace, just enabling Jared Bowen. First touch, Jim, was that? Must have been, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely,
first touch for him, and enabling him to walk onto it on the left peg, hit it first time. Really well worked goal.
Bowen arrows one in, his first goal in 14 internationals. And England lead by 4 goals to 4 in 23 minutes. And in a way, it replicates the kind of pattern of the game that England had the other night. Not strictly, of course, because they scored an early goal in that game. I'll come back to that in a moment as the Irish can bring it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. O'Shea's cross is headed away, but Malumbi can pick it up. He'll work the ball out towards the left flank. Little touch off by Schmolix. Moran is involved. Trying to make his way inside the penalty area. Shot on the turn, stinging the hands of Pickford, but I think that effort from Ryan Manning is the first shot on target that Ireland have had. And it's come in the 77th minute.
Indeed, yeah. They got forward there in decent numbers, and all they can do now, the boys out there carrying on playing this, is show the right spirit. Again, you'd like to think that certainly the two boys at the back, McGuinness and Nathan Collins, are screaming at everybody to try not to concede anymore. Nice to see him have a little go there, finish with a shot from Ryan Manning on the turn that was easily fielded from Jordan Pickford, who literally has had nothing to do pretty much the whole night.
Well, in many ways this is becoming England's MO. A slowish start, building the pressure on as the ball is worked in here, and Solanke almost scored with what was probably his first touch of the night as well. Just took a touch off Collins as he slid in and it hit the Irishman and goes over the bar for another corner.
Yeah, these wide areas are so fruitful for England, you know, with the talent that they've got at their disposal as well. You interchange two, put another two on, and the threat is still there.
So off comes Curtis Jones, Angel Gomez on to replace him. Now that's England's 5th change. So Jones off, Gomez on. Now Curtis Jones, not the flamboyant performance marked by a goal that we saw the other night, but very, very solid nevertheless. He's done well again. In comes England's latest corner, left-footed in-swinger, well headed away at the near post by Troy Parrott. Ball is worked out towards the right-hand side. Fired in again, the free. Hello! Harwood Bellis is in on the act. It's 5. And he races away down towards the corner flag. Punches the air in delight. Tony scored a goal in club football. Now scores on his England debut. Racing in at the far post, powers the header in. England 5, Ireland 0. What an end this is to the Nations League campaign and Lee Carsley's interim period. Its legacy is going to be the proliferation of youngsters that have come through under his tutelage for the 21s and who've established themselves as full internationals over the last 3 months. And Weke brilliant today, and Harwood Bellis scores on his debut for 5.
Well, it will be interesting to wind the clock back, and if England would have won here against Greece, what would be the mentality today of Lee Carsley and the managerial role? within the job. Who knows? But I've got to say, this game's been punctuated by, there was a passer in the first half by Jones through the midfield, one by Harry Kane, and that one again by Bellingham was absolutely outstanding.
Ireland 5 down and a man down, but still gamely pushing forward with Schmodix. Ball played back outside the penalty area, nodded on by Malumbi, flicked on by Moran. An attempt from Azaz to try and turn. Jason Malumbi's got it again. Important from an England perspective that defensively they keep the clean sheet from here. Look at their fourth in 6 games in this Nations League campaign under Lee Carsley. Have only conceded 10 in the last 15 matches now. But when they sense blood, they can really go for the jugular, this England side. 2 late goals in quick succession the other night, and now 5 in a 27-minute period here. And it goes back to what we were saying before the game, Andy, about strength in depth, how important it is for the players coming through. We've seen that with the 9 pullouts that we've had for this week.
Oh yeah,
it ended up being a real blessing in disguise for him.
Well, it's not been a great squad for some of those boys that didn't turn up for whatever reason, because those that have played in Greece and that are enjoying themselves right now, very rarely, in international football, you get a night like this where you can really relax and enjoy the experience. And that's exactly where this current group of England players find themselves now. That last goal, as Piercy said, brilliant ball from Bellingham, delivered beautifully. Harwood Bellis, really strong header. That one Ireland should have done better to defend that. When you see a ball travelling 40, 30 yards straight from a diagonal position, a deeper position, you should be able to deal with that. But they're shattered. They've been completely demoralised now, and it's really difficult. When you're a player in these sort of experiences, it's tough. They'll learn from it. They've just got to hang in there, and they'll be thankful when that whistle blows.
Now, whilst we have the glut of goals here, I didn't tell you that Erling Haaland has completed his latest hat-trick, and Norway have scored a further goal as well through Nusa. They're 5-0 up at home to Kazakhstan, and Slovenia have just equalised at Austria in the other game in that group, which means that Norway will be winning automatic promotion if the Slovenians hold on in Vienna. So 1-1 there, 5-0 Norway lead. England 5 up and looking for more still. A little layoff on the edge of the penalty area from Solanke. Bowen's eyes lit up for a moment, but it was clear. He's got it again, Jared Bowen. Pulls the ball back. Jude Bellingham's got it. Bellingham now out towards the left-hand side for Lewis Hall. Hall with a chance to try and deliver, smacks it straight into Dara O'Shea, and out of play for another England corner. We played 83 minutes here on Talksport, and it's 5-0. The reaction is going to be one of beaming smiles and superlatives, I'm sure, from Lee Carsley and his players. Faker Others, our England correspondent, will be speaking to Lee and the headline makers as well. We'll bring you that reaction from the tunnel here at Wembley immediately after this game. In comes this latest corner from Bowen, swept in and easily headed away. Comes out towards Jude Bellingham, a little bit of showboating from him, juggling the ball on his left thigh and then his right. Playing it back, Libramento's got it, forward from him towards Angel Gomez. Gomez down to the England left again for Bellingham. Bellingham to Morgan Rogers. Rogers driving forward and then tackled by O'Shea, who simply wasn't going to let him get past. O'Shea doesn't even turn round and acknowledge the yellow card that is brandished in his direction by the Belgian referee. Free kick to England.
Jim, you and I have watched a lot of Morgan Rogers this season. I do think he could be a really important player for Thomas Tuchel. Maybe not always starting, because there'll always be that question about where, but in a game where you want someone to come on who can travel from halfway line to the edge of the box better than anybody with the ball at his feet, he could be a real asset for England if Tuchel uses him wisely.
This free kick is being defended by a two-man wall, just protecting the near post here. It's a relatively tight angle because it's about 9 yards outside the box. It's played by Bellingham. It's worked back to him. Bellingham gets a right-footed shot in, which went through a crowd of players, possibly hit one of his teammates on the way through, and Kelleher will come out and very gratefully pounce on it.
Yeah, he had the body language of someone who was looking to get a shot away, and he was just moving Gomez into a position where he could roll it to him, stop it and come on and hit it. Ireland got out well and blocked the first shot, but he just helped it on and created a better angle for himself.
Casey McAteer is going to be coming on in a moment for Ireland. That'll be their final change. It's Kelleher inside his penalty area. Side foots it first time down towards O'Shea. Turn forward from him. And then running down the touchline, Jason Malumbi blocked well by Lewis Hall, whose clearance hits Malumbi and goes out of play for a throw. So the Irish will be able to make the change and bring McAteer on, and he's replacing Sammy Schmodix. We've got 4.5 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Absolutely no jeopardy at all. England 5, 10-man Ireland 0. 0-0 at half-time. The difference in performance between first half and second half could hardly be more marked, and it all came courtesy of that magnificent ball from Harry Kane, and the rest has been implosion.
Well, if one pass can change a game, that was it. You know, not only did it cost them the goal, it cost them a player as well. And from that moment on, I think the scoreline's a bit tough on the Irish, especially with the first half performance, but England have been clinical.
Yeah, they certainly have. I don't think I've seen a better pass than that Harry Kane one. Certainly not for a long time. Certainly not this season. I haven't seen a better ball than that. It was magnificent.
Gomez plays it inside the penalty edge, back towards Kane, who couldn't quite get there. McAteer's first touch was a really important one for Ireland. And then the referee spots an infringement, gives a free kick to Ireland. Worth pointing out, in the context of England having been magnificent for half an hour against 10 men, none of the three of us thought the scale should have been sent off. And it is worth just reiterating that now. It's not taking anything away from England. But,
No.
But we think that Liam Scales was hard done by getting a second yellow card.
Yeah. There's no way he would deliberately foul Jude Bellingham there.
Bellingham playing it in. Kane! And Kelleher stops it, being 6. Save with his right foot at the near post. And happy to smuggle it away and out for a corner.
Yeah, good run from Harry Kane, inside left position on the edge of the box. Good first touch on his left foot towards the corner of the 6-yard box. Hits it well, but we think Kelleher does well just to block that with his legs away for a corner.
I think that's the first England shot on target that hasn't gone in. Here's Rodgers. Played back by him outside the penalty area for Bowen. Second half alone, England's XG has been nearly 2.5 for the 5 goals that they've scored. Ball played by Bowen out towards the right hand side. 4 different England players scoring their first goal for their country today. Gordon, Gallagher, Bowen and Harwood Bellis. Here's Morgan Rodgers, wants to get in on the act, and he's pulled the ball back on the edge of the box. Shot save as Bowen fired it in, and Kelleher got his hands to it. Must feel as though he's at the end of a coconut shy at the moment. And then Gomez gets a yellow card for stopping a promising Irish counter-attack. And he becomes the 4th England player booked by referee Lambrecht. 88 gone, 5-0 to England. Stuart Pearce?
Yeah, good play there, good pullback. Bowen come onto it, akin to his goal actually, and just didn't get a clean contact. Just watching the replay of that, he sort of banged it into the ground instead of the clean contact that we saw for the goal.
Plenty for you to get your teeth into when you're alongside Jeff tomorrow morning for breakfast on Talksport from 6. Looking back on the Lee Carsley reign in general and what's happened this weekend as the ball comes forward here, and the referee's given a free kick against Troy Parrott. Don't forget, the live football from the Premier League returns next Saturday as Leicester meet Chelsea, and Reshman in the award-winning game day exclusive team from 11 for a 12:30 kickoff. We've got championship action down in the West Country Friday night, where I'd love your company for Watford's trip to Plymouth as Gomez plays the ball back for Bellingham. Bellingham firing one over the top. It's gone over the head of McGuinness. It's going to be kept in by the industrious Rodgers. Pulled back by Kane. Good shape on the ball in, which very nearly found Solanke. And Kelleher comes down. That's a good play with an awkward bounce just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Ireland work it forward through the midfield. They've got 30 more seconds plus stoppage time to endure here.
Jim, what's Tuchel's first game? What would that be?
Well, we don't know yet.
Don't know it yet.
So
because of the
draw. So England have no more games inked in from here. They know that there will be 2 in March. Don't know whether they're going to be friendlies or qualifiers. Right. There's a decent chance it will be a World Cup qualifier, but as of now, we don't know. So the Nations League playoff draw that happens next week, and then December the 13th is when the World Cup qualifying pots are picked, and England will be top seeds within that. But as of yet, Andy, we don't know. But he'll be looking at this somewhere, and
that's what I was just
looking
thinking.
Forward to it.
I was just thinking his first team's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Because there's a lot of England players over the last few days haven't done themselves any harm at all. They really haven't. Lewis Hall has been nice and solid tonight. The other younger players, lovely for Taylor Harwood, but as he knows he's not going to figure when the big matches really come along. But it's always great to feel like you've taken part and you've been involved. Curtis Jones, neat and tidy and effective tonight. I think Madueke, really good.
Well, Taylor might not figure for a bit on a regular basis, but he might long term. And here's Rodgers coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area, threaded in towards Kane. We're in 3 minutes of added time. England 5 up. Rodgers with the ball inside the penalty area, and a diving header puts it behind for another England corner.
And one thing you can bet your bottom dollar, 3 months in international football is a long time. The next international, there'll be people turning up. There'll be people turning up and you thought, boy, he's been nowhere near an international squad. All of a sudden, it looks as though we can't do without them.
Yeah. All of a sudden, everybody's fit.
Jarrod Bowen just trying his luck from distance there as Gomez had played it to him. We made the point the other night. You have a look back at when the Nations League draw was made back in February. You could never have possibly predicted the makeup of the 16 players that England have used tonight. You couldn't possibly have done that. And yet, here we are in, international football can see things develop pretty quickly. It's not just England. The same has happened to an extent with Germany and others as well. 5-0, we've got just about a minute of stoppage time to go. And your reaction is more than welcome. 03717223344 is the number that gets you through to Majestic and Alan Pardew, opening up the sports bar from 7:30 tonight here on Talksport. All the reaction from you following the reaction from Lee Carsley and the England players with our correspondent Faker Analysis. Ireland look for a consolation as Zaz riding a challenge from Bellingham on the edge of the penalty area. Gomez will be able to knock it away. Bellingham's suspension incidentally won't happen now. You can't take them forward from one competition to another, so the fact that England aren't in a Nations League playoff means that he's not going to be suspended for the first game of the World Cup qualifiers. The ball goes out towards the England right. Bowen playing it back. One more chance for England potentially to end up with half a dozen. Slowing things down, only about 10 seconds to go. There's no real appetite for it just in these last exchanges, and they're imploring the referee to bring a slightly early end of the game, which he does. 5-0. And let me tell you, at half-time he couldn't potentially have dreamt that was coming. But Kane with a sublime pass unlocked the Irish defence. Bellingham won a penalty. Kane converted it. 5 minutes after that, it was 3 with goals from Gordon and Gallagher. And then Bowen and Harwood-Bellis added 4 and 5. 4 different England players scoring their first goal for their country. It has been a mixed bag of a Nations League campaign, but it's really ended on a high. Fantastic week this. 3-0 in Athens, 5-0 at Wembley against Ireland. Ireland will hope for better when they go into their Nations League relegation playoff. But England have won promotion, no playoff necessary for them. Thomas Tuchel's men will start with a World Cup qualifying campaign in March, and he will not be able to wait. Lee Carsley's reign ends, 5 wins out of 6, and promotion. And it's tapped off with a 5-0 win.
Going up, going up, going up. How's it feel? Promotion. Feels fantastic, doesn't it? And what a second half. So different to the first. As Lee Carsley hugs all his players, those who were subbed and are going back on with the coats on. Ireland players go over to their fans to applaud them. They were noisy throughout despite that second half collapse. And the England players very happy with everything. Kane, quality led to his penalty and his goal. Then the new boys and youngsters took over. Livramento cross from the right. Bit of a shambles from Ireland in the middle. And Anthony Gordon volleys in his first England goal. What about Gahey setting up Gallagher for his goal. These two know each other well. They came through Chelsea's academy together, close friends, played together on loan at Swansea, played together at Palace, played together in the youngsters' age groups with England, won the Under-17 World Cup together with England, now playing for England, making goals for each other. Absolutely fantastic. Love to see that. They celebrated hard together. And then a well-worked free kick, Jarrod Bowen with the finish. And then Jude Bellingham with a cross. Taylor Harwood-Bellis is going to be in trouble. His future father-in-law is Roy Keane. I don't want to be at that dinner table the next time they get together. That is going to be some conversation between those two. But what a performance from England in the second half. And Stuart Pearce, we couldn't possibly have guessed that would happen. We were frustrated at half-time. Yes, we applauded Ireland stopping things happening, but I felt that England could do more. A risky ball from Harry Kane, a bit of quality, a bit of imagination. He tried something, it worked, it was brilliant, and it led to an absolute rout in the end. But that moment of quality from Harry Kane was much needed from England, and the captain brought it.
Yeah, it certainly was. And maybe as commentators, we have to sort of check ourselves and be a little bit more patient as well. And how many times have we been in the commentary box and thought in the first half, a bit frustrated, too slow. All of a sudden, you've got to wear the opposition down and earn the right, and maybe that's exactly what we've done today.
Yeah, and I think, Andy, there was not a lot that Ireland could have done to defend that situation. When you get a ball that good and it goes into the box, there's not a lot you can do, is there?
Very few players would have even gone for that pass. Very few would have even spotted it. Not only has Harry Kane seen the run from Bellingham from 40 yards away, I mean, Harry Kane's, to try and describe it, he's on the touch line. His boots are virtually on the line of the touch line, and Jude Bellingham is 40 odd yards away, making a run towards the penalty spot, and he fizzes it with absolute precision just in behind. I think it was Nathan Collins initially, then it was Liam Scales trying to track back and make a challenge. He catches Bellingham. Referee quite rightly gives the penalty, but I just think in sending Liam Scales off, that absolutely ruined the game as a contest, and I felt for the Irish boys at that point, because you just knew it was going to be a really, really long second half, and that's what panned out. And
I'd have really loved to have seen, Andy, just quickly, what Ireland would have done. If it was 11 against 11 and England would go 1-0 up, Ireland have got to come out and play a bit.
Well, look, England have got the quality. They could well have gone and scored. Wouldn't have surprised me if they got one or two more anyway, but it just spoiled the game as a little bit of a contest, because from that moment onwards, it was always just going to be a case of how many England could get. They got 5, they could have had 6 or 7, and that's just the way it developed. I didn't think it should have been a red card, a yellow and a subsequent red for Liam Scales. I think the penalty was enough.
Stuart, over these two games in Athens Thursday night live on Talksport, here at Wembley tonight against Ireland, we've seen a lot of quality out wide from England. For the second goal, Livramento it was with the cross. Anthony Gordon, who's been one of those exciting wide players in these two games, got the goal after a mix-up in the Ireland defence, and he deserved his goal as well, but it highlighted the quality we've got out wide, not just from the wingers but from the fullbacks going forward as well.
Yeah, I think it's almost proved a point to us that when you go back to the tournament in the summer, I think we were so lacking in the wide areas. Saka was probably arguably our most effective player out wide in the front four, but in the main, unless you have two wide players out there that are prepared to get turned and go and take the opposition on, just think of everything that would have been lacking over the last two games if that wasn't part of our play. And I almost think going forward, you've got to have those type of players in those wide areas, and that's where we go back to the statement that Andy made beforehand, that Tuchel might have some difficult calls to make. Instead of putting Foden out here because he's one of the best players in the Premier League playing on the left-hand side, it might be him or Bellingham. Take your pick. Yeah. And that is a tough call for any England manager. But to accommodate two effective wide players that are actually wingers, old-fashioned wingers, like we've just seen over these two games, is very important.
And we've got Cole Palmer as well to fit in somewhere. I mean, your face just drops, Stuart, because what do we do?
Because you know that Cole Palmer isn't that type of wide player. You know what I mean? So
He's not as effective when he's playing out wide, Ade. Cole Palmer wants to play where Bellingham plays.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got Foden, Bellingham and Palmer who might want to play in that 10.
And again, that's why you've hired Thomas Tuchel, to make the big calls and get them right. That's the key. One thing's saying to someone, you're going to have to come and sit on the bench today. Will you do that for me? Yes, I will, boss. But he's got to make sure those decisions work. And so it'd be really, really fascinating to see exactly how it all starts off for Tuchel. What we know is Thomas Tuchel's got a lot of really good players, so it should be easy winning the World Cup, right? 5-0, England have won. We're going to get reaction. Faker Others is down there going to talk to Lee Carsley after his final game in charge and all the key individuals of that brilliant second half performance from England. They've beaten Ireland 5-0. They're promoted in the Nations League.
The big Wix event is now on. They've got everything you need to turn your ideas into a reality. From tiles to flooring, doors, kitchens, bathrooms and more, they have everything you need to start your next home improvement project. So whether you want to give your home a little touch-up or a full-scale makeover, shop the big Wix event. In-store and online now. Click to find out more.
Is there a Toyota for my plumbing company?
Yeah, of course there is.
And my mobile florist business?
There's a bunch.
Construction?
Mm-hmm.
Fresh fruit grocers?
Yep.
Catering?
Yeah.
Electricians?
Uh-huh.
DIY enthusiasts?
Indeed.
Locksmiths?
Yeah, of course.
Landscaping?
Yeah. Whatever your business, there's a Toyota for that. Search for the new Toyota Pro Ace Electric to find out more.
Coverage of the UEFA Nations League live on Talksport with Carly. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Yes, gang! It's Black Friday time! A little birdie told me Very have some fab deals. Ooh, if you buy the Shark cordless vacuum and steam mop together, you can save £149.
And when you buy the Ninja Dual Drawer air fryer and toaster, you get the kettle for free.
Amazing! All your Black Friday deals for fashion, home and more, plus Very Pay. Ways to pay that work your way. Very. Let's make it sparkle. £149 saving when Shark products bought in the same order. Event ends 2nd of December. Delivery from £3.99.
Total Football is about teamwork. It's built on trust, support, and responsibility. LiveScore Bet sees responsible gambling in the same way. So if you're under the cosh, it's time to slow the tempo down. We've got tips and advice on how to stay in total control of your betting. Visit the safer gambling section of livescorebet.com to learn more. LiveScore Bet. Total betting. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Oh, it's coming through the flipping ceiling!
Look it, Chris, look it!
With what, Anna?
Do I look like a plumber?
Got a leak? Get Gorilla Waterproofing. When there's no time to lose, new Gorilla Waterproofing ends leaks fast. Just brush it, spray it, or tape it to end your leaks inside and out. The new Gorilla Waterproofing range. Get it now, so you don't get this.
Do I look like a plumber?
Gorilla Waterproofing. For the toughest and wettest jobs on planet Earth. Buy the range in store or online at Amazon and Wix.
It's Black Friday. You're looking about for a great deal on iPhone 15. Dynamic Magic. With O2, you can save up to £360. You could hire a private investigator. Look under rocks. Tap your nose 3 times and turn around. Or just search O2 Black Friday to find your deal today. O2. See what you can do.
£360 saving achieved by £10 per month discount on a 30-gig tariff over 36 months. Ends 11th of December. Credit by Telefonica UK Limited. Eligibility and terms apply.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gerwen? And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
The Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on Talksport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. Kick-off international special on Talksport.
Well, the pitch is empty. The stands have emptied really quickly here at Wembley, as well as the fans have seen England beat Ireland by 5 goals to 0. It was goalless at half-time, and Ireland have been defending really well. We just watched the first goal again. The Kane, well, there's the penalty. The incident that led to the penalty was Kane's incredible pass. We should really give Bellingham a lot of credit for the run as well, Andy Townsend, because that was special, wasn't it?
The run is amazing. I mean, he makes a 20-yard run, sprint. It's not just like a hand up in the air, sort of saying, "Go on, Harry, chip it into the box, and I'll see if I can get on the air." He makes a sprint for the penalty spot, and Kane's delivery is on another level. It really is. It's absolutely perfect. And again, great touch from Bellingham. Definite penalty. I just think. Listen, you just explained to me there, Aid. It wouldn't be a. It could have only been a straight red, if it's that.
Yeah, if we're talking about... Let me try to explain this. It's quite a tricky one to explain. So Scales gets a second yellow for a foul on Jude Bellingham. Okay, so if we're talking about whether he's attempting to get the ball, that's to do with red card challenges.
Right.
Okay, so it would never have been a straight red because it was a genuine attempt to get the ball. Okay, so my view of it is... Listen, Bellingham's right in front of goal and he's been brought down.
Is it a yellow card? Is it not just a foul?
Because he's right in front of goal and he's been brought down in the box, I'm looking at it thinking, actually, yeah, I mean, that to me is a yellow card. And there's an element of cynicism. I don't think he's that close to the ball. I think you could possibly argue he's going for the ball, but it's a vain attempt to get the ball. He's going for the ball, but he knows he's not going to get it. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, no, I take your description on board there. I just felt it was a little harsh, but of course it had severe ramifications for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it did, and I wouldn't have minded seeing 11 against 11, to be honest with you. Stuart, you disagree with that view, that it's harsh to give him a second yellow?
Just in the spirit of the game, it isn't. England have got the ball on the penalty spot, you know? Just let the penalty be suffice. That's my whole point on it.
Yeah,
it's different, you know, like sometimes you see someone when they're clean through and a defender from a really poor position ends up dragging someone back or tripping them deliberately or something like that. It wasn't like that, was
it? Wasn't going to cause injury or anything
no.
like that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
He was scrambling back to try and recover a position. Bellingham, great skill, chops inside on his left foot, and Liam Scales dangles his right foot, catches him, down he goes. But again, look, that's Ireland's problem. That's not England's fault. From there, what good teams make the most of it, and they've done that.
We're going to have loads of reaction from the England camp coming up for you very shortly, including Lee Carsley, who's gone out with a win. And I think, Stuart, after the performance against Greece here, and a lot of fans thought it was an absolute shambles, it was a completely unbalanced team that he picked that night, and maybe that's actually done Tuchel a few favours, because fans won't be on his case to put all the attacking players in the team ever again after what happened against Greece here. But 5 wins out of 6 and promotion, Lee Carsley can be happy, can't he?
I think so. Listen, at the start of this campaign that he's been put in charge, the spec was to win the group, get promoted again, probably blood some youngsters that you know very well, that you've worked with. He's done exactly that. I tell you what, if you roll the clock back 5 days when 8 players didn't turn up, all of a sudden they've scored 8 goals, conceded none, got 2 victories, and on the back of that, all of a sudden, the mentality around this place has changed drastically. Just the biggest message you can send out to the individuals that didn't come, that knew in the back of their mind they could have come.
Yeah, and really interesting now exactly what's going to happen with Lee. Is he, after having a taste of what he's had tonight, great experience for him? Yeah, it was very different a few weeks ago after the Greece game here, and all the questions that were being put to him, and he wasn't sure about how to answer them, and it all felt a bit awkward. After this one tonight, what's interesting for me is he happy to go back in with the 21s, or having had a taste of this, would he fancy maybe having to go somewhere else?
He did say a few games ago, I'm going back to the 21s. But you're right. I mean, there was a very spurious link to the Coventry job. He's coached there before, but that looks like it may be going elsewhere. But we'll see. I mean, there may be a chairman out there who's looked at this and thought, I want my teams playing like that. It's a very basic thing, but then we're talking about chairman here. So
I just said to Piercy about whether he'd do that. And Stuart, you think go back to the 21s, do what you do.
I think he enjoys his work with the 21s. You can be in the pro game and out the pro game within a very short space of time, and all of a sudden your career path has ended there and then. Yeah. I think he's had a good 6 games. He's learnt a bit about himself, I think. You know, the Greece game was a tough one to swallow here, and now it gives you the greatest of highs managing your country, but the greatest of lows as well. And I think he's experienced that. Just put that there and say, brilliant, that's on my CV as well, was a nice tick. If he asked me, I would say, look, carry on with the 21s, try and get your hands on another trophy, keep bringing these youngsters through, and see where that takes you over the next 2 tournaments, 4 years.
And I think it's clear, just from the fact that he's out there waiting for the players to go out and warm up, he's out there with the cones and with the balls, and he wants to be a coach who's out there.
He's a coach.
He doesn't want to handle the media and all that sort of stuff. That's how it feels, anyway.
And it does, and you're absolutely right. That's something that he would have got better at. Of course he would, but it's not comfortable for Lee, that sort of environment. He's a coach. He wants to get out there on the grass, and he wants to get his players playing the sort of brand of football that at times they've shown tonight, particularly in the second half. There was some lovely stuff. Look, even against 10, sometimes it can be difficult. England did it right. They got the first goal and then took full advantage and punished Ireland almost at will in the end.
If you're a coach and you want to work with top quality players, working with the under-21s, and you don't really want to deal with the media only ever turn up once every 2 years when you're at a major tournament if you're England, and then they'd probably only really sit up and take notice if you get to the semi-final or the final with the under-21s. In the main, they're not overly that interested, if truth be known.
The quality of the goals I thought was really good. I just want to mention Bellingham again, because his cross for Harwood Bellis' header, Stuart, I thought was exceptional. Unbelievable for Harwood Bellis. He must be in some sort of dream world, I think. What a fantastic thing to be able to say right now. Yeah, I'm playing Premier League, but I've just scored for England on my debut. Absolutely amazing. But the ball into him was superb from Jude.
Well, there was a lot of superlatives there. You got a young man coming in, making his debut. I think he was a late call-up as well, wasn't he? So there's the pluses of people not turning up or injuries and whatever. You get your opportunity. I thought he finished it brilliantly, by the way. It would have been a bad miss if he missed it, but I tell you what, he powered it low, gives the goalkeeper no chance. But you're right in what you say. The pass itself had a written invitation on it.
It did. And Jared Bowen as well. After the game in Athens, Stuart, I thought to myself, actually, in the marks out of 10, I didn't give him a high mark. I thought he could do more. He's come on and absolutely done more. Let's go down to Faker Others, who's with Anthony Gordon, I believe.
Thank you very much, Aid. Anthony Gordon with a huge smile on his face, having scored his first goal for England. Talk me through that, Anthony. You looked like you were delighted when it went in.
Yeah, it's about time. I've had some great chances for England, and I'm being able to put them away, so it was a great feeling just to see it hit the net. But I just spoke about it in there. It's more so the fact that I got to celebrate it with the lads who I come through with, Curtis, Taylor, Nonny, all the lads who I come through with, so it was very special.
You say you've just spoken about it in there. Is that in the dressing room? Were you all talking about you got 4 debut goals is amazing. Yeah, we're a very tight-knit group, especially the under-21 lads who we obviously won together, so that's a bond you can't replicate. So to come through this journey together, and yeah, Taylor scored, I scored, Kate scored last game, Nonny's been on fire. It's just a really good feeling. It's a lovely journey. The objective was promotion back to League A. You got that done. It was the manner of the performance tonight, it felt, though, in the second half. You know, the first half I don't think any of us really want to watch back again, but the second half was fantastic. Do you feel as if this is England going forward?
I'm not sure, because I haven't worked with a new manager yet, so that'd be really hard to say, but I think we got better and better the more time we spent with Lee, and the group felt a lot more together. We sort of knew what we were doing, and we had a really good plan going into games. Felt really confident, like I said. He makes us feel like we're the best players in the world, so I think we've got to say a huge thank you to Lee for the amazing work he's done and his staff. But yeah, I'm not sure what the new manager will bring, but I'm really excited to see.
What's the one thing that Lee Carsley has brought to this side going forward that's going to stand you in really good stead under Thomas Tuchel?
I think it's the confidence thing. He's brought that confidence back of, obviously the summer was tough and all the media around it and just the way it went in the end, but I think he makes you feel like the best player in the world, and I think he made us feel like the best team in the world, and that's a strength. So that's something that we've got to keep when the new manager comes.
Well, you took your goal brilliantly. Congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
If you just stay with me a second, Aid, because I've got Taylor Harwood Bellis alongside me as well. Congratulations to you, another first-time England goal scorer. The guys were just talking just there about whether you feel like you're in dreamland at the moment after that.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's obviously to get on was amazing for me, and
to obviously score was even better. It's something that I do fancy myself in the box. I like scoring and getting made on things off set pieces. So it's an unbelievable feeling.
It was brilliant to see. Obviously, it was dependent on how England were doing as to whether you were going to come on and make your debut. Had Lee said to you that you were definitely going to come on today? Did you know?
Yeah, yesterday he gave me a few hints that I would be needed at some point. When he said that, obviously you don't believe it until you see it, just because things can happen in football and stuff like that. So to actually get the nod at half time that was coming on at 60 was. Yeah, I was obviously buzzing, and to get on there, it couldn't have gone any better.
And bearing in mind you were a late call-up as well, how has this camp felt for you? How has your first experience of senior football for England felt?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's where you want to be. It's the pinnacle of football. It's playing for your country at senior level, and obviously the boys make you feel so welcome. And it couldn't have gone any better. Training's obviously put the highest standard, and I've enjoyed every minute. Listen,
there are benefactors of the pullouts that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. You're one of them. How vital is it that you got on and scored a goal ahead of the new manager starting in January? Yeah, it's obviously you want to get your name out there and show your performance and what you can do. But that's also down to doing it at Southampton for me and playing well. So it's good to get on and obviously show him a little bit of what I can do. But no, we'll see. It's something that I'm got to focus on Southampton now. I've had my England head on now. I've got to switch it back to Southampton. So Just one final question, and it's on a man that you know really well. You were his captain when you lifted the Under-21s trophy. You've actually had a trophy in your hands as England captain, which I hope we get to see from you perhaps in the future. Give me a few words on Lee Carsley and what he's done during this interim period to set up Thomas Tuchel going forward. Oh, he's amazing. I don't think there's a better man to do it, to set us up. He's a great coach. The way he makes you feel off the pitch and going onto it, he fills you with confidence. And obviously he's tactically really good. As you say, we play some really good stuff, as you've seen over the past 3 camps. So I've got to thank him so much for calling me up, and even with the 21s, he's a great guy. Brilliant stuff. Well done tonight, Taylor. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
There you go, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, the son of the guy who used to wear the Stockport's mascot costume, the son of Vernon the Bear, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, and he's just scored on his England debut. Absolutely incredible. On Lee Carsley, the FA's CEO Mark Bullingham has issued a statement saying he wants to thank Lee Carsley and his coaching team for their hard work and results in the last 6 games. Lee's achieved the main objective from the 6 fixtures this autumn, securing promotion back to the top tier of the Nations League. He's selected some exciting new players and will be providing Thomas Tuchel and Andy Barry with a very detailed handover as they start work on our qualifying campaign for the 2026 World Cup. The players have really enjoyed working with Lee and his team. They've made a real impact in their interim roles. Lee will now return to the Under-21s and will continue to play a vital role supporting the seniors by developing England's best young players. His leadership and coaching gives us the best possible chance of back-to-back Under-21 Euro wins next summer. He will continue to play a big part in elite football development across the FA. And I thought it was really interesting, Stuart Pearce, the question that Faye asked Anthony Gordon about, well, you guys have won with the Under-21s, and his answer, I thought, was emotional, really. He said, we did that together. You can't kind of fabricate that. It has to happen organically. It did, and they've all got together, and they're still a band of brothers. They've still got that together, and they could bring that feeling, that winning feeling, to the seniors. It looks like they're starting to do that.
Well, let's go back to a conversation we had in 2014 in Rio, shall we? And a vision that probably I saw in 2007. You've got to win things at the younger age groups, akin to Germany, Spain, France. They've all done it before you go on and win something at senior level. I get bored saying it, but it's a fact. And my ears pricked up when he turned round and talked about winning something at under-21 level, and the group that won something, and those players now stepping out on the field tonight and having this shared experience at senior level. I think it's brilliant.
Do you know, Piercy, what another thing that's going to be a fascinating watch is, because the England players under Gareth were very much as one, and it was a real unified group. Obviously, that's again been the case with Lee Carsley. Now, Tuchel's quite an abrasive kind of character, not afraid to fall out with people. And I know week to week football management is very different. He'll need a different set of tools in terms of being an international coach. But again, that harmony that is important, that has been very clear to see with the England squad over a fair period of time, with Thomas Tuchel in charge, who might end up bombing someone out of the team to bring someone in, and there aren't any apologies and arm round shoulders and lots of sympathy being shown. That's the Thomas Tuchel I've seen so far. Whether we're going to see a different one will be a fascinating watch. How he manages the squad. Look, as a coach, everyone knows he can do it. Of course he can. It's obvious he can do it. But how he manages the group, the way that they've been handled by Lee and by Gareth, is going to be interesting.
It's 2 games that we played this week against sides, one ranked 20th in the